a full artificial intelligence would spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
It was a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
So you said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen.
You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 6 3 2 9 7.
Media doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. And hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? It is Friday night, and you know what that means. Friday night is show night, and it's the night we talk about all the things we're not allowed to talk about. You know what that is? Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal. We talk about the 24-hour news cycle. We talk about everything in between. The government, academia, what would it be? Major corporations. It never ends. The conspiracies never end. And yet, the censorship continues. We talk about censorship. We talk about China. We'll talk about China a little bit tonight. And most importantly, the show's about you. The show's about us. The show's about getting together, letting our hair down a little bit and just talking about things that normally, let's say you're at the water cooler and you're, maybe trying to shoot the shit with your boss and you bring up aliens and then that's a wrap and you'll never get promoted again. Yeah. So, we realize there's a little bit of a stigma to these type of topics. And, of course, they get smacked down and by the technocracy in different forms. But, we persist and banned here, banned there, whatever, right? Just keep on trucking and just roll up a new account. Catch me if you can, suckers. All right, but yeah, that's what's going on. That's what the show's about. We haven't really done a lot of paranormal, and I think we probably should. So let's get back to that. We're going to talk about some paranormal tonight. Going to get away from the aliens, and we're going to talk about some ghosty, misty things that kind of let's say haunt the countryside. So we got some pretty good ghostly procession type stuff that we're going to talk about later on tonight. But for the time being, what we're going to do, this is a long form talk show, so stick with me. If you got the TikTok type of attention span, this is not the place for you, unless you want to try and expand it a little bit. Why don't you hang out and see what's going on? And there's a lot to talk about. I think that's why we do this the long way, because we want to include you, first off, which I'll get to in just a sec, but But otherwise, you do a 20-minute show, you get to say good morning, good evening, and you're out of here, and you don't really get to say anything. That's it. It's a wrap. So we do this intentionally the long way so we can include you, and so we can kind of cover some of the things that really don't get covered. So yeah, there we go. All right. So did I mention this show's live? I don't think I did yet. Only kind of. All right. So Friday night, middle of November. What are we doing here? November 20th. Friday, November 20th. If you're listening right now, this show is live, and you can be part of the show by calling this number, 702-957-1037. You can also click the Discord. Discord is a chat client and a voice client. Actually, let me jump in the Discord. I forgot all about that. That probably helps if you want to be on the show. And now I'm in the Discord, and so you too can just jump in here and join the Discord, and then let me know you want to be on the show. We'll pull you in from the caller queue. But if you don't know what Discord is and you haven't joined it yet, I recommend you do, because the nature of the show goes like this, right? Like I said at the beginning, we talk about all the things pretty much you're not allowed to talk about, right? Things that are suppressed by algorithms, and we parse the news 24-hour news cycle, things like this. And if you go off the beaten path and kind of speculate and try and think critically on your own, that's frowned upon these days, which shouldn't surprise anybody. And if you've been to a modern school, you kind of see, right? You write what they tell you, and you get the A, and you get the hell out of there, right? They don't really teach you to think anymore. They just teach you to regurgitate propaganda. Well, we try not to do that, and anyway. Blah, blah, so on and so forth. We're live, 702-957-1037. Join the Discord. You can find both the phone number and the Discord at troubledminds.org. That's the official website. And I think that covers it for the intros here. So the way this works is we're going to, like I said, it's a long-form talk show. Put your feet up, get ready, and we'll talk about some fun stuff, hopefully, and include you. So we'll do shout-outs first. So we're streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on YouTube, streaming on Periscope, streaming on DLive, streaming on, what did I leave out? Twitch. We're streaming on Twitch as well. So if you we're reading most of the chat, so we'll be able to answer the chat. So if you guys have pertinent information that we need to read, just type it in the chat. I'll read as much as we can as we go. But if you have to be on the show, call the number or join the Discord. That's the best way, and it gives me a break so I can take a sip of beer here. Don't have to just blabber on all by my lonesome. So there we go. And then so what we're going to do, since we're streaming on all those things, just type in the chat where you're listening from, and we'll shout you out, and then we'll get going. And then we'll talk about conspiracy news. So I've pre-selected a bunch of news, and we'll talk about that to kind of get the conversation started. But this first part is all about you. So if you want to kind of derail the show and talk about whatever you want, this is really kind of an open forum, and it's okay. Like if we've done many shows where we started with one thing in mind and ended up with something completely different, and it always ends up good, in my opinion. So it doesn't really matter if we derail this show and can't get to what we need to. We can always add it to a show in the future, God willing. God willing. God willing. All right, so let's do some shout outs, and then we'll get to some conspiracy news. Let's start on, let's start on Facebook. What's up? Christopher gets first on Facebook. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Greetings, fellow Earthlings, he says. Hello, hello. We got Caesar with a close second, having a brewski and ready for the show. Well, cheers, buddy. Having one with you. I got some, what am I drinking tonight? Voodoo Ranger. It's like a 5% IPA. It's pretty delicious. We got Paul. What's up? Thanks for being here. Paul says Trump 2020. I think that we got some news on that. So yeah, we'll get to that in a second. What's up, William? Thanks for being here. William from Singapore, I believe. Elizabeth, brandy and eggnog. Hell yeah. Yeah, festive going on. Elizabeth from Oregon, I believe. We got Walter Moon. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for being here. We got Paul from Wisconsin. Thanks for showing up. We got Jeremy from Louisiana. Benjamin, how you doing here and ready? We got Jim. Word, humans. Word, how you doing, buddy? We got Jeremy. Word to you, mother. Let's see. Walter, what's up, Walter? Says, saw Jupiter out of my telescope last night. Looks so much better in the cold than it did in July. Cold air makes the sky clearer. Well, what do you think that is? Is there some scientific thing to that? You'd think there's more moisture and mist in the air, so it would be less? I don't know. Is it less smog? I don't know. Somebody explain that to me. I don't get it. Juan, what's up? Thanks for showing up. Long time no see, buddy. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's see. We got Paul. What's up, Paul? Is that? I don't think that's the Paul. I think. Yeah. I'm not going to read that, Paul. Let's see. What else do we got? We got Rachel. So glad I didn't tune in too late. Nope. You were right on time. Thanks for being here, Rachel. Robert, what's up? Says almost made the full 3 hours and 38 minutes of the last show before I fell asleep in my chair. Well, fantastic. It's Friday. Hopefully you don't have to get up tomorrow morning and you can stay up and make enough noise to piss the neighbors off. That's what I usually do. Let's see. What else do we got? Mark, hello. Thanks for being here. We got, let's see. What's up, Paul? How you doing? Misty is a horror. I don't know what you mean. And what's up, Sherry? Thanks for being here tonight. We got Sherry from, I'm not sure where Sherry's from. She never tells me. Let's see. There you go. Ask and you shall receive. Sherry from Tennessee. What's up? Thanks for showing up. We got, let's see. Who else? Jimmy from San Antonio, Texas. And let's see. What else do we got? All these damn pop-ups. Jeremy, excited to talk about ghosts. Yeah, we're going to talk about ghosts tonight. What's up? We got Todd from Kentucky. Thanks for being here. First on YouTube. We got Eli a close second. Super Vike from Here Between the Walls. Our thumbs down captain. What's up, Super Vike? Thanks for being here. We got November Goon on Periscope. TF, I swear this would be happening to me. Yeah, well, what do you mean? Ghostly processions or just showing up in random spots, listening to random dudes talk on the internet? Because that's cool. There's worse places to be. Axel from the Midwest. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for showing up. Axel has COVID, so good vibrations, frequencies, prayers, whatever you got for Axel to get him through this. He says he's feeling a little bit under the weather, and at least he doesn't have breathing problems. So good vibrations to you, my man. Get better fast. Thanks for being here with us tonight. We got Johnson. What's up? Birthday boy in the house. Johnson has been warning me all week it's going to be his birthday, and he's going to be hammered. Well, welcome. Welcome to Birthday Boy Hammered. 4 a.m. in the United Kingdom. Johnson from the UK. We got, let's see, Todd says one person has tested positive for the virus here at work. Yep, it's happening. It's going around. Now, Roland Rods on Periscope. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's see. What else? Eddie from Las Vegas. How you doing, buddy? Greetings, friends. Let's see. Axel says cold air holds less moisture. Well, there you go. There's my science lesson for the night. I warned you guys. I'm not a scientist. Let's see. Eddie says ghost stories. Believe it or not, I have one of those too. Just one. Yeah, perfect. Let's see. Paul says my ex-wife Misty. So you're referring to? Oh, okay. Fantastic. I hope I don't know her. Okay, let's see. Well, because we could share stories if I did. Let's see. Joe says, cool. What's up, Joe from Florida? How you doing? Cooler air in Florida usually means a little less humidity. The stars are clearer. Okay, there you go. There you go. Like I said, I'm learning something. Okay, Matthew from the corrupt state of Illinois. What's up, my man? You're not the only one in the corrupt state. I'll start off with the corrupt state news here in Nevada. What's up, Walter? I know a lot of people with COVID. Yeah. No. We never, on this show, just FYI, we're not those folks that say because COVID stuff doesn't exist, right? We do question how the government handles it, but exist or not is not a thing. In my opinion, it's not a thing. That was going around for quite a while, and I don't know. I think it's, I'm not going to rage and scream about the irresponsibility of saying it doesn't exist, but people are out there saying these things. So, and I think that's why it's important to have like a conspiracy show kind of like this, where we really do try and keep one foot in the real world, so we don't go down 22 rabbit holes and come out the other side in China, handcuffs on, arrested by the CCP, because you dig a hole, you dig a rabbit hole far enough, you end up in China. Yeah, that's what they say. That's probably a racist thing, but hell, what isn't anymore? Okay, let's see. All right, Jeremy, faulty testing. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's get started. So what we're gonna talk about tonight again. That the topic on hand is the paranormal. We're talking about ghosts tonight and ghostly processions, and I've got a couple in particular that you may or may not have heard of, and maybe some of you have seen these. They're in particular parts of the country. These are both going to be ghostly processions in the United States, so we'll get to that in the second half of the show. But for right now, we've got conspiracy news. So let's see. What do we got? I said I was going to do, what did I say I was going to do? The corrupt corrupt state I live in. Oh boy, yeah. All right, let's see. What is this? No, that's not what I need. I should have done that earlier. Okay, all right, let's start here. Let me find it. Give me just one moment, please. Let's see. One moment. Here we go. All right, let's start. Actually, let's not start with the corrupt state. Let's start here first because this is a little more fun than a corrupt state, and then we'll get to the corruption of the state. Okay. All right, we have this reported by Fox News, and Space Command headquarters will be in one of these 6 states, the Air Force announces, which is kind of exciting, right? We talked about Space Force and all the rest of this stuff, which, oddly enough, may become a a thing of the past very quickly if Donald Trump doesn't get back into the office. If he can't claw his way through the courts to get back in, then, well, who knows if Space Force will even stick. Maybe they just shit can this and turn it into funding for something else. Who knows? But it's the way I see it, it's more money for them to lose. So I don't care either way. I just don't care. But we'll get to some more space news in a minute, but this is pretty cool. So virtual and on-site visits will now be conducted at the 6 candidate locations before the headquarters site is chosen, which is going to be this. The Department of the Air Force has announced the 6 candidate locations being considered for the headquarters of the U.S. Space Command. The 6 locations include Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico, Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska, Patrick Air Force Base in Florida, Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado, Port San Antonio in Texas, and Redstone Army Airfield in Alabama. The Department of the Air Force said self-nominated communities from across 24 states were evaluated as potential locations for hosting the headquarters, officials added. And this assessment will be based on factors related to mission, infrastructure capacity, community support, and costs to the Department of Defense. Oh, that's nice to know that the Department of Defense actually cares about costs. I didn't think that was the thing for them. But okay, whatever. They say it, we believe it. The Space Command headquarters will be selected in early 2021. Until then, Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado Springs will remain the command's provisional headquarters. There you go. So if you guys are looking to join Space Command, well, yeah, you have maybe it's coming to an Air Force base near you, and maybe you can apply. And I'm not sure what kind of hiring they're doing right now. I didn't really look into the job listings because, well, none of this says Nellis in Vegas, and that's where I'm streaming from, Las Vegas anyway. So it looks like I'm not a candidate. So, oh well. What can you do? What can you do? Let's see. What else do we got? Johnson says, we can talk about Johnson is amazing. Yeah. What's up, buddy? Happy birthday, my man. You were hammered, and it is awesome. All right. Let's see. All right. What else do we got? Let's see. Hold on. I screwed this up because I was supposed to put these things in the thing, and I didn't. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with details. Set up the show details. But here we go. Let's put these in the thing. And all right. So remember we talked about. Actually, let's get to the corrupt state. Let's just get right to the corruption of the states. Let's do it. All right, a couple more shout outs. Who else is here? What's up? We got Sean. Thanks for being here tonight. Says this show rocks. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Like I said, without you guys being enthusiastic, this show does not exist because I'll be taking a nap watching a ball game instead. Let's see. Rachel says I'm hoping for its headquarters will be here in New Mexico. Yeah, maybe, right? Maybe you can get hired with Space Command. How sick would that be? I don't know what kind of qualifications they need, but I'm sure. Right? Like if you're getting hired for the government, you have to put in an application and wait for like 2.5 years, and then they get back to you or something like that. So it would be a good time to start now. So if you're interested in that sort of thing. But okay, let's see. What else do we got? Let's go to the corruption of the states. We got the corrupt state of Illinois we had in the chat there. Well, we have more. There's more corruption. It doesn't end. What's up, Dixon from South Carolina? I see you there on Periscope. Thanks for showing up tonight. Okay, let's see. Check this out. This is a little bit wonky. This is what's going on. This is your quick election update. We're not going to spend too much time on this because WTF, right? But so I was like, all right, well, Nevada, like we were one of the corrupt ass broken states that couldn't count their shit in a timely manner. And so it looks really shady. Whether it's fraud or not, it definitely looks suspicious. And I think a bad look is a bad look no matter what you're doing. So what can you do, right? Well, here's what you can do. Nevada judge denies request to halt state certification of election results. All right, so that everybody knows the Trump campaign has been suing the balls off of everybody to try and get claw their way back in. But we have the Nevada judge denies the request, and right, because of course, let's read some of this from CNN. Nothing like some nice orange man bad media. So straight from the article, a Nevada district judge on Friday denied a request brought by a conservative activist to halt the certification next week of the state's election results that show President-elect Joe Biden leading in Nevada by more than 33,000 votes. Actually, so it looks like it's not the Trump campaign, it's a conservative activist that was bringing the court case here. Anyway, so the case was filed by conservative activist Sharon Angle and her organization, the Election Integrity Project. Election integrity. that has a whole new meaning, doesn't it? So they brought this against Nevada's Secretary of State, Barbara Sagaski, and the only Republican statewide office holder. And she hasn't acted like it, that's for sure. On Friday, District Court Judge Gloria Sturman denied Angle's challenge to the outcome and her request for a preliminary injunction to the Nevada Supreme Court certification of the election results on Tuesday. All right, there we go. right? So denied certification, the halting of it, blah, blah, whatever, right? Whatever. Does anybody else out there think they live in a corrupt-ass state where the election looks shady AF? Yeah, I do. And, I hope you do too, and then we're peas in a pod. Anyway, I don't really care who wins. I care about an accurate count, right? Shouldn't you? I think we should. I think we're breaking down our systems, and nobody seems to be giving a shit based on partisan lines. That everybody cares on who wins. Nobody cares on an accurate count. I think that's the most horrifying thing about all this. Let's see, Larry, what's up? Thanks for showing up tonight. Cheers, buddy. We got. Let's see. Paul says maybe Space Command will have a Subway. Maybe. You mean like the sandwiches or like a Subway? I don't know. Robert says, I still have my old Space Ghost costume. Hell yeah. Can we get pictures, man? Pics or it didn't happen. What's up, Walter? Thanks for showing up. President Biden with the Russian symbols. I think those are Russian symbols. What's up, Super Vike? Election integrity? Just like military intelligence. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. All right. So anyway, the Nevada judge denies the request to halt the state certification, blah, blah, right? Because they don't really give a shit about once they get what they want, they don't want to have to go back and change it and be transparent about anything, right? So anyway, actually, just as an aside, there's a guy on Twitter named Michael Tracy. He's kind of like a liberal independent, and he writes a bunch of shit that pisses off both sides, which is perfect to me, right? Because you should be able to say things that piss off both sides of the aisle. Otherwise, you're not looking hard enough because they're all there. But Michael Tracy, I think it was tonight at 4 p.m. I didn't get a chance because I was putting the show together, and I will watch it later on. But he was going to have some kind of he put out on his Twitter, he's got a shit ton, huge following, and he actually said something to the effect of he wanted somebody to explain to him how there was fraud, systemic fraud or some shit like this. So I guess some lawyer took him up, and they're going to do some live stream on YouTube. I think it probably already happened. But anyway, I'll find it and link to it after, because you should probably watch this now instead of that. But anyway, okay, so there we go. So we got this, all right? So we got the state gets smacked down, the judge denies the request to halt the state certification here in Nevada, right? And then we're going to go to, let's see, because of course there could be no fraud, right? If you look at all of what the mainstream media says, it's like, despite no evidence of fraud, right? Everything starts with that. Despite no evidence of fraud, this is what's going on, right? Easy, Paul. Easy, Paul. Don't be a jerk, man. Oh boy, Joe says an accurate count. One side gerrymanders and the other wants the illegals to vote. Yep, there you go. What's up, Mark? Says I live in corrupt Michigan. Well, good. Peas in a pod. I don't feel so alone anymore. Let's see. Walter says I don't like any of them. They are all puppets, and if you see one is not a puppet, then they are doing their job. Yep, I agree. Let's see. Did you hear about the Dominion server confiscated from Germany? Says Jeremy. Jeremy says this. No, the CIA was not involved. Yeah, well, that's what they say. So I did hear about that. I don't know the accuracy of that, but yeah. So anyway, here's some local news, right? Notice again, the mainstream media says, all right, now we're going to talk about economics in just a sec here, but the mainstream media says that you can't, or no, there's no actual evidence, right, of wrongdoing or fraud or shenanigans in the election, right? That's what they say in every damn headline you read. No anything, right? All right, now check this out. Now this is from News 3 Las Vegas, right? All right, good. It's a good thing we have no evidence because, well, I don't know. I think if you look hard enough, maybe in just some local reporting all over the damn country, you probably see tons and tons of evidence. But here's one. This is interesting. Like I said, we're going to talk about economics, as I promised, right now. The DOJ says Las Vegas man stole mail-in ballots and DETR unemployment debit card. Interesting. This is today. A 41-year-old Las Vegas man was charged Friday, accused of possession of stolen mail, including 2 mail-in ballots and an unemployment insurance debit card from the Nevada Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation, right? So, of course, 2 ballots, 1 debit card. Well, couldn't you say that this is evidence? I mean, right? I'm not saying two ballots will change anything, but if you're stealing mail here, you're stealing mail there. Anyway, I thought it was interesting that no evidence is kind of a big term, but, and back to the economics of things. Why do you steal mail if it isn't worth something? I don't know. That's a good question, right? You're hoping to get like a Jimmy's Christmas card from Grandma and get like a $25 gift card to Target. Is that what's going on here? I don't know. I'm just saying. This is reported. News 3 LV here in Las Vegas. Yeah. Well, you know, what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? We can laugh. We can definitely laugh. That's the funny part. But hopefully you're laughing because I'm laughing. What's up, Super Vike says, yep, I already read that. Eddie says that maybe not a Subway, but definitely a Cinnabon. Yeah, there we go. Cinnabon's cool. Cinnabon's cool. Actually, is there anybody else that has a hard time resisting the smell of a Cinnabon? Speaking of a Cinnabon, I haven't been in a mall in a long time. And mostly because I go in and I smell that shit and I have to run straight over there and grab one. Because, oh my gosh, there's a lot of melty and the cinnamon and, oh, geez. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid carbs because I save them for my beer, but oh man, I just can't stand those Cinnabons. Anyway, did I mention we're live? If you want to be part of the show tonight, 702-957-1037, click the Discord link, troubledminds.org, and you can click the Discord from there. There's a Discord link on top. That's the official website, troubledminds.org, and there's also the phone number up top, so you don't have to wait for me to read it again. Just go straight to the website, and you have all the information you need. All right, and again, if you have not, even if you don't want to join the show, you're the shy type and you don't want to be on the air because it's a lot of pressure and people hear what you're saying and you know you might step on your foot or get tongue tied or you're afraid you'll say something stupid. Well, one thing to that is you just keep saying stupid shit over and over again and then you get over it. That's my way of doing it. But two, if you're kind of shy anyway, and you don't want to be part of the show, I recommend you do join the Discord because there's a ton of good information in there. And if something happens to this show and it gets taken down, that's where you're going to find the news first. I'm active on Discord. Lots of smart people are active on Discord sharing articles, links, and other things. And there's a cool Easter egg in there, which Axel just joined the Discord and was like, wow, I didn't know there was D&D stuff in here. I didn't expect to find that. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons also. So if you're into any of that or you'd like to know first what happened to the show, if it's not live in your jurisdiction, well, I tell you what, then you should go check the Discord because that's probably exactly where you'll hear it first. So, and where to come find us. I had a guy tweet me yesterday. It was like, "Where are you?" I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like, I know exactly where I'm at. What are you getting at? If you're out there listening tonight, it's no problem. Go ahead and tweet me. I just wasn't sure what you were asking. But then he wanted to know that why weren't we streaming? And apparently he meant YouTube. Well, because we got a copyright strike on YouTube. And now let me explain real fast about the copyright strike, just so you guys know how this works. In many cases, like I could pull up a Madonna song right now or whatever, right? It's like YouTube has a copyright system. And so in most cases, they'll just monetize your video, right? So you can kind of use this stuff, whatever, right? I mean, it's nice if you credit the people who did it and everything, but now they have an algorithm that'll pick these things up, and then I could play "Material Girl" by Madonna, which we've done before, and it's no problem. And then they'll just monetize it, and she'll get whoever you use, right, will get part of the ads they put on your thing. So it's no big deal, right? So typically it's no big deal to use somebody else's stuff on YouTube. They'll just monetize it for those creators, right? Now here's the thing: there's some people who do those really short video clips, and I've got some tonight that I'm not sure I should play because we might get a strike. I'll link them and you guys can check them out. But they're like those real quick, like 20 or 25 second videos, and their entire business model is to license them. And then, so of course, they don't want people playing them for free. And so instead of like being cool about it and just kind of putting it into the algorithm so YouTube can monetize other people's videos, they want you to pay the fee. Right, and so they'll actually issue you an actual copyright strike. So that's what happened with that. We play like it may make you wonder like what the hell's going on because we play shit all the time that should get copyright strikes, but no, it doesn't work that way. It's a little bit different, and when you get one, it's usually somebody being a dick. So whoever's out there that did it, you know who you are. You're a dick. There you go. I said it. Let's see. Walter says, if my Facebook account gets deleted, then I'm calling in and spilling the beans and all hell will break loose. Hey, so you're going to get me banned too? Is what you're saying? I see. Oh, I see how this works. Okay, let's see. What else? Let's see. Eddie says, maybe not a Subway, but definitely Cinnabon. The only place I see them is airports. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Yeah, they used to be in malls out there in California, some in malls. But yeah, not out here. Anyway, so yeah, don't get me banned, Walter. Don't do that, please. Okay, so anyway, there you go. No evidence. We got evidence of two here, two ballots. at least didn't get to where they went, right? So that's clearly 2 votes for Biden that should have come in, but so should have won by 33,002, right? But no. Okay. Anyway, all right. So we talked about this. There you go. There's your evidence of election tampering. Election tampering. All right. Here we go. Now we talked about this not that long ago, and I was wondering. I didn't think this was legal. But apparently it is. Apparently it's still a thing. Like, I know very much that this is looked down upon, right? The snooties and the animals and the animal lovers, and I'm an animal lover, so don't take it that way. I'm not trying to malign you as an animal lover, because we should love animals. But we were wondering what was going on with the culling of the minks in Denmark, right? I was like, what the hell is this, right? Like, they're going to kill, like, what was it, 14 million of them or something like that, because they caught some version of the coronavirus, right? So this is from the New York Times, and I looked into it a little bit, and it is a thing. I guess we have mink farms here in the States, and they're in Canada, and they're all over the place. So I didn't realize it was a thing, but they do raise them for their fur, and, well... There you go. I literally thought it was illegal. There's many things like this that are still illegal, but this is apparently not. But I thought this was interesting because it ended up, so the New York Times reports this: the culling of minks in Denmark prompts a political crisis. And just the brief is, like I said, some of these minks caught a mutated form of the coronavirus, they say, and we're passing it on to humans. And so instead of, you kind of can't stop it. It's a mutated version now, they say. And again, I can't confirm any of this. I'm looking at some crappy article by some crappy journalists. No offense to Thomas Erdbrink and Mark Santora. I'm sure you're fine journalists because you work at the New York Times. Oh, sorry. But here we go. It says from the article, the slaughter of minks in Denmark to prevent the spread of a potentially dangerous new strain of the coronavirus has prompted a political crisis in the country, with the Minister of Agriculture forced to step down and the government in danger of collapse. I'm going to read that again. With the Minister of Agriculture forced to step down and the government in danger of collapse. Now, is that hyperbole, or is that, I don't know, could slaughtering minks cause the government to collapse? I mean, I guess, maybe. Anyway, the article continues. The cull has led to a political crisis in Denmark, with right-wing parties accusing the government of using the pandemic to try to end mink farming in the country. Denmark is home to some of the world's largest mink farms, with an estimated population of more than 15 million. There you go, 15 million minks, and they're going to euthanize all of them because they don't want this coronavirus to spread, right? It'll cause more problems. So, and then of course we have the fight going on there, very much like the fight going on here. You're going to destroy the businesses if you just keep shutting everything down, and then you're going to consolidate all the small business owners to the food line, the bread lines, and then you're going to consolidate all of the upward power and market shares to the larger companies, which would be Walmart's and which would be Amazon and places like this, right? So given the trajectory we're on and the arguments we're having about destroying the middle class here, looks like there's something similar going on in Denmark. But they're claiming now follow this, right? Now follow this. They're saying that they're using this as a way to end mink farming, right? Like, I guess as an animal activist type of, right? Like, okay, right? Sure, fine. I get it. It's not very tasteful, but I mean, we murder animals the world over, right? Cows, chickens, pigs. Here especially, and everywhere else too. China, dogs, and cats and everything else too. Chickens and pigs and everything else. So anyway, point is, how are you an animal activist trying to end the coronavirus, or sorry, trying to end mink farming, and then use the coronavirus to use that by killing 15 million minks? That sounds like a hell of a conspiracy theory to me. I don't know. I would think there's a better way to do this, don't you? I mean, this sounds like a conspiracy theory. The cull has led to a political crisis in Denmark, with right-wing parties accusing, I know I read this, I'm reading again, the government of using the pandemic to try to end mink farming in the country. Denmark is home to some of the world's largest mink farms, with an estimated population of more than 15 million. The opposition is calling for Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen to resign after a hurried decision to cull the animals after a mutated strain of the virus was found to have made the leap from animals to humans, they say. All right, so again, I was looking into this a little bit, and just for your information, in case you didn't know, I'm apparently ignorant because I'm not in the market to get mink furs and wrap them around my neck, or whatever you do with mink furs, and sew them together and make nice carpets or coats, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. But here we go. I'm going to link this, and you guys can see like there's actually some mink farms in Canada. There's some mink farms in the United States, and yeah. So I had no idea. I really had no idea. I thought it was like long illegal. Shows you what an ignoramus I am. Okay, let's see. Some good comments here. Let's see. What else do we got? Yeah, 15 million minks. Sean says animals having revenge on humans in 2020. Is that what's happening here? Well, not now, because they're going to murder 15 millions of these cute little guys. Let's see. What's up, Ben? Thanks for showing up tonight. I see you on Facebook. Let's see. Rachel says on Facebook, if it can contact humans, why the hell are they not wearing masks, gloves, and any gear to protect them? Well, again, some suspicious things, right? Like infectious disease specialists are getting this. So yeah, there's problems here. There's definitely problems with this. Let's see. Yep. Let's see. Ben says middle class. I prefer the term the working poor. Is that like The Walking Dead? The working poor. Needs to be a series. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Jeremy says it's a catch-all now, so we can have a new future shoved down our throats. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Robert wants to know, what do they do with the mink meat? And I agree. I think Ash asked that last time we were talking about this. So he wanted to know if they were good eating, and I don't know. I really have no idea there. So let's see. Australia. Let's see. Ben says here in Australia, in some areas, koalas were nearly entirely wiped out from chlamydia. Don't even want to ask how that happened. Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't know that. That sounds, yeah. What's up, Johnson? Dirty sand, Mike. What's up with the dirty sand? Is that like yellow snow, but different? I don't understand. I don't get the reference. Supervike says, can't the minks just wear masks? That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. It did seem when I read it initially that killing 15 million minks is, I mean, imagine, like, right, you're working at like the mink farm, and they're like, all right, execute order 67, right? And you're like, oh shit, really? And you have to go and you have to murder all the minks. I mean, that'd be a drag, right? Yeah, that'd be a drag. Yeah. I wouldn't be into that. I'd be like, nah, find somebody else. I'll find another job. I'm not going to murder 15 million minks. I'm sorry, just not going to do it. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. Robert says, I hear reptilians love mink meat. That is the word on the street from my boy Ash, for sure. Caesar says some mink tacos. That could be right. That could very well be. I don't know. Anyway, so I didn't know. In chat, let me know. Did anybody out there know they still farm and kill minks for their fur? Did anybody out there know this? Am I such an ignoramus that everybody knows this except me? I'd like to know if somebody else out there didn't realize this was still a thing. I thought they banned this as like the clubbing of baby seals. You know what I'm saying? Not that people don't still do it, but you know that it's illegal. That's what I mean. Anyway, yeah, animal cruelty, says Sean. David says supposedly they have COVID that is known for transmission from humans. Something like that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm not a scientist at all. I'm just saying that this is the news. This is what the news says. This is what I'm reading. And it seems a little weird that, you know, the argument is they're trying to beat down the mink farming, right? They're trying to end mink farming by murdering 15 million minks if the coronavirus is not a threat. Anyway, just saying, I don't know. I don't know the answers to these questions. You guys know. I don't have answers here. I have more questions and blah, blah. There you go. So here we go. One more time. Show is live Friday night, November, what's the date again? I always forget the date. November 20th. So if you're listening tonight, you can call and be on the show. Any thoughts on anything so far on the election interference and tampering or lack thereof? The mainstream media, how they've covered any of it? The dirty, corrupt, rotten states we live in, or countries, as the case may be. Or how about minks? Did you know that mink farming was a thing and people still farm them for their fur? I didn't know that. I do now, but there you go. Like I said, what an ignoramus I am. What about Space Force or the Space Command? Space Command. It's different. It's a different thing. Now, how about that? You guys hoping it comes to a Air Force base near you? Anybody looking to apply? Just if you got any feedback, any kind of information here, love to have you call, and I can sip some beer. Otherwise, I'll just have the Microsoft mic read the next article, which is cool. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord at troubleminds.org, and you can get on the show. Let me know. All right, here we go. Let's see. Kurt says hoof and mouth. Is that a thing? Yeah, is like the disease? Yeah. Like the foot and mouth disease? I'm not sure what you mean. If that's a thing, okay. David says, it was on the news. This is a farm. They said COVID had morphed and they have it, but they didn't look sick to me. Apparently, so I was reading a little bit more about this. I don't have those particular links because I was genuinely curious if Denmark was the only place that did this or if it, was going on around the world. And yeah, like I said, they have mink farms in Canada, mink farms in the United States. I didn't know this. I had no idea. So there you go. Things you don't know. Let's see. Sherry says they're lying. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem, right? Like execute Order 67 and kill 15 million minks. At the drop of a coronavirus. I don't know. That seems excessive. I mean, 15 million. Fathom how large that number is. That's a damn lot of animals. David says, I don't believe a thing they say now, and they only have themselves to blame. And I agree with you. I agree 100%. Like, the media is so far off the rails, no matter what they're talking about, that, you can't. You can't believe shit. It's terrible. It's awful, the world we live in, and here we are anyway. Let's see. Eddie says, I didn't think about it, but I guess the fur trade is still alive. Much more grotesque than meat farming, in my opinion. Yeah, I kind of agree. Definitely, right? People aren't eating them; they're just wearing them. A little bit weird. What's up? Killing evil donkeys. I see you there, buddy, on YouTube. It's really two lab mice, really two lab mice trying to take over the world. There's your big conspiracy there. There's your big conspiracy. Yeah, okay. All right. I can buy that. Okay, anyway, let's see. Sherry says they're so cute and playful and have families. Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? I think it's a, I don't know, 15 million's a lot. That's what I'm trying to say. See, it seems excessive. Let's see. Ben says in Tasmania, Australia, the Tasmanian devils were nearly wiped out by some form of flesh-eating disease, which some say was a result of a genetically modified forest that was leaching an unusual chemical that was also running into nearby rivers. Now, the government hushed it up real quick, which makes me think it was the cause. Yeah, right? It doesn't surprise me a bit. Government hushing things up. All right, so my thing died here, so let me call back in. So if you're calling in, if you're like hot on the telephone right now, my Google Voice just took a shit. So let me call back real fast and get the phone line working. Look, I could do it muted now. See, look, mad skills. After you've done a show or 30 or 300, you finally get things figured out. All right, so there we go. Enough on the minks. Here we go. Here's another one. I'm going to throw this link out. So this is from Scientific Mag. I just wanted some links for you guys so you could find out that I'm not full of shit. They're doing these mink farms, and it's a thing. Apparently it's a thing, so I had no idea. So there we go. Let's drop that in. Let's see. Okay. So one more mink link, and I think we'll move on from that. All right. So here we go. Now, I thought this one was pretty interesting, and I almost ran out and bought myself a new contraption for the house. I'll tell you how much they cost in just a sec. But this is reported by Popular Mechanics. All right, Popular Mechanics. One of my favorite sources here. Let's see. Let's unmute this. Make sure we're good. I think that's probably enough time. Yeah, all right. Phone lines are back up. One more time, 702-957-1037. Is it working? No. Yeah? No. Okay, it's working. We're back. All right, phone line's back up. And there you go. If you want to be part of the show, you want to say hi, you got show feedback, you want to talk about the last show or the next show or any show in between, you want to make a show up and talk about it, we're here for you. Okay, now, reported by Popular Mechanics, let's go to this. It says this. Headline reads, it sure looks like humans have found a way to reverse aging. Yeah, reverse aging. You heard that right. I'm reading that right. That's what it says. A landmark study shows this age-old tech is the key. Yeah. All right, let's read some of this. I was like, clickbait, clickbait. Oh, are you shitting me? They locked me out. All right, hold on. These assholes. Everybody wants you to subscribe and all this other garbage. Let's see if I can subscribe real fast. Oh, no, because they want $30 a year. All right, let's see if I can find a way around this. Hold on one sec. Since Popular Mechanics is not going to let me read the article, I'm going to find another version. Let's see. One moment, please. Please, one moment. Let's see. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see if I can find another. You can always find somebody else that kind of just ripped them off. And all right, here we go. Let's skip. Who was that? I don't know who that was. I don't care. Popular Mechanics. Go away, Popular Mechanics. We're going to go with this one then. This is reported by BGR.com. And it's the same article, but with without the paywall. Without the paywall. All right, here we go. All right. There we go. Okay. Hold on. All right, we're good. Okay. BGR.com reports scientists actually reversed human aging using a revolutionary new treatment. Now, oddly enough, the last article it said it was an age-old treatment, right? So now we have a revolutionary new and we have an age-old. 2 articles about the exact same thing. This is today, November 20th at 5:25 p.m. Let's read some of this. See if this is clickbait or if there's something to this. We found a fountain of youth, did we? Scientists have developed a new therapy that they say can actually reverse aging on a genetic level. By having participants breathe pure oxygen in a hyperbaric chamber 5 days a week for 3 months, the team was able to effectively reverse the age of chromosome telomeres. Additional research is obviously needed in this field, but the results are promising so far. All right, so let's read some of this. What do you think? What do you think this is? What's up, Killing Evil Donkey says, hello, nurse. The nurse was a mink. Animaniacs came out today. Is that what it was? Was the nurse a mink? Really? I remember Animaniacs. I love the intro to that show. I never watched it much, but the intro was great. Let's see. Yeah. No, David says, don't say adrenochrome. I was going to make that joke, but I thought it was a little too dark. But hey, well, you made it for me. All right, so life is, here we go, blah, blah. As Telegraph reports, a team of scientists from Tel Aviv University focused on a part of chromosomes called telomeres. Telomeres, which are situated on the end of our chromosomes, are longer when we're born and grow shorter over time. They act as a protective feature of our genes, and when they shorten with age, DNA damage can occur, and our bodies, as a result, begin to break down. All right, let's see. So the researchers came up with a novel treatment approach to tackling the aging problem. They wanted to see if oxygen could work to reverse and revitalize the DNA, effectively rewinding time by lengthening the telomeres and bolstering its defenses. In a trial that lasted for 3 months, volunteers aged 64 and older sat in a hyperbaric chamber and were asked to breathe through a mask. The mask provided 100% oxygen, and each participant sat in the chamber for 90 minutes, 5 days a week. After the trial period was over, the researchers examined the participants' DNA and found that the telomeres of the individuals were young again. The scientists say that the telomeres looked like they would have when the participants were in their mid-20s, which is really an incredible accomplishment. All right, so what's more, the oxygen therapy could be combined with other types of anti-aging therapy to further boost longevity in animal life, which includes, you guessed it, humans. Yeah. The net result of using multiple therapies has not been studied in any great detail, and while the DNA of the participants in the study does show concrete benefits on the microscopic level, it's still unclear how those changes translate when it comes to lifespan. Will these participants live longer? If so, how much longer? And are there any potential drawbacks to this type of therapy? All right, so I was doing some reading of this because I was going to buy mine. I'm like, yeah, hypo whatever chamber. What is it called? Yeah, what is it? Whatever that's called. I forgot already. But I was going to buy one. I was like, yeah, hell yeah. We're going to live forever, guys. This is it. We're going to live forever. We're doing this, right? And you can buy your own hyperbaric oxygen chamber for the low price of about $22,900. I'm like, hey, that's a car, right? That's like the cost of nothing if you can live forever. Shit, I'm going to buy me 2 of these things. Watch this. Yeah, well, maybe we should wait for the science, shouldn't we? I don't know, though. Let's say we wait in this control group. You got to wait, 50 years to make sure they, live longer. I don't know. Is this just a way to sell hyperbaric chambers or the service? What's up, Sherry says aliens use the bed. I know that. Okay, so this might be a thing. Maybe this is what they do when they abducted Travis Walton and put him on the ship and had him locked down to that bed. Maybe that was it. Joe says your chromosome endings grow and it slows aging. That's what it says. Sherry says the president has one. Yeah, probably has one in every room. Rachel, what's up, says, let's see, replying to Ben. Okay, let's see. Hyperbaric, that's the word. Thank you. Let's see. Sean says, whoa, human cell telomeres anti-aging regeneration. There you go. It will only be accessible to the rich, says Ben. Yeah, right. And aliens are more advanced. Clearly, I think we'll probably all agree with you there. So they're maybe that's how they do it, right? They just hop in a hyperbaric chamber and then They just cruise across the galaxy. They never have to be a robot or a trans alien or whatever we want to call them. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff here. Yeah, I don't know. Like this, right? I mean, I think. Okay, now scientifically, do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible? I think probably living forever is a stretch. So let's just take this at face value and what they're saying today. This was reported yesterday and today. This is brand spanking new, okay? Now let's take this at face value and say it's not clickbait and say that the science is sound. They don't know what the actual results will be long term or if there's any side effects. But as of right now, let's say this works. Now, do you think it's possible for us to live to be a couple hundred years? Few hundred years, 500 years, 1,000 years, right? I mean, I think scientifically, once you figure out that little trick of consciousness, then you can clone bodies and all this other business, which of course is an entirely other science fiction type of thing, not this at all. But with this, if this works, then you don't even have to worry about that pesky trick of consciousness. But let's say it does make you live to be like 150, right? Let's say it's something like that. Then you got to worry about, right, your kidneys going bad, right, this going bad, that going bad. But then at that point, wouldn't they be able to just grow you some new kidneys or a new liver in a lab, and then just kind of swap out your guts like car parts, right? Like car parts going bad, need a new alternator. Bam, we'll just order one from the AutoZone and slap it in, right? I don't know. A little bit creepy. I don't know. Kurt says, or just get some nip and tuck done. Either way, waste of money. Well, unless it works. unless it works. Yeah, I don't know. Think of it. Yeah, Sherry says the alien's bed. Joe says, yep, the sarcophagus. Only you, Joe. You're with your dead people in boxes jokes. Let's see. William says Rogan has a hyperbaric chamber and it's not easy to maintain. I didn't know that. I know he's got one of those. It's not the same thing, is it? Like that. He's always talking about how he hops in the water and he does. It's a sensory deprivation tank. Is it a hyperbaric too? Is it completely different? I have no idea. Okay, let's see. What's up? What's up, Adrian? Who can afford mink? Nah. All right, let's see what else. What's going on, Christopher? How you doing? Let's see. Adrian. Hello. Who else? Too much chat. Keep the chat coming, guys. It's good if I can't read it all. Okay, so anyway, do you buy this? This is a study that just came out, they say. Now, I didn't look too hard because I wasn't trying to find the paper itself. I was trying to grab a hyperbaric chamber really fast so I could flip it when they sell out. That's what I was really looking to do. Keep it in the box brand new, and then when the price triples, then I could, play the market. Back to economics. Back to the economics of stealing ballots out of the mail. I don't know. Christopher wants to know where my top fan badge went. I don't know. I don't manage that. It's all Facebook algorithm managed. So if it comes and goes, don't worry. You're all top fans in my heart. All right. Now you know. I literally have never even looked. I don't even know where to find it, to be perfectly honest. I try and stay out of Facebook as much as possible because the more you're in Facebook, the more they're, dipping their tentacles into what you're doing in the spyware style. So I try not to use Facebook, because Facebook's really great. Aren't you Facebook? Wink, wink. You're really great. Good shit. Yeah, good shit. Okay. So anyway, hyperbaric oxygen chamber, 90 days, or what was it? A month and a half, 90 minutes, 5 days a week. And they were able to become young again. So yeah, what does that mean? I don't know. Does it mean you start to look younger? Does it mean I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. No idea. What's up, Derek? Thanks for showing up. Let's see. I think I already said that. Okay. All right. Moving right along. Anyway, do you guys buy this? Scientists actually reversed human age and used a revolutionary new treatment. That would be the Holy Grail. That would be the fountain of youth, right? That would be El Dorado. Do we have it? No. I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Maybe it works, maybe say 5 or 10%. I wouldn't be surprised if some sort of lifelong treatment would make you live a little bit longer, but I'm not so sure about huge effects here. And of course we won't know for 50 years. Because yeah. Joe says you will know it works if your jangly parts get more firm. Yeah, well, I guess that's one way to test it. Kurt says, hell no, it's a scam. David says CEOs got dragged the other day. Oh yeah, the I saw that the Facebook hearing, and the guy from what you call it, from Twitter. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I did watch part of that. Anyway, what do you guys think? Again, we're live if you want to be a part of the show. It is Friday night. We're just shooting the shit, talking conspiracy, news, and clickbait, and do we believe this crap or not? Or exactly, like somebody said earlier, I can't believe a damn word any of these clowns say, because they've proved to us they don't give a shit about the truth. They don't give a shit about us, and all they care about is money, and that's that. It's a wrap, right? I guess we can probably end the show on that, because that's about, well, the truth of things. So, until next time. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so what do you guys think? Is this true? Is this false? Is this just more clickbait? Do you think this has any kind of long-term implications, or do you think that we're just trying to sell hyperbaric chambers because they have a surplus and they need to get rid of them? They're like, I know what we'll do. We'll come out with our own marketing campaign. Yeah. Anyway, what's up, Scully? Says, I just jumped Portal to be here. Still throwing off the ecto jelly, but I made it. Perfect. You're just in time. Adrian says, dogs are full of COVID. They are lying. It's not jumping from dogs or cats. Yeah, COVID, apparently has many different strains and all the rest of that. So, yeah, and it's in all kinds of different critters. So I think that's the really weird weirdness of things. And, I've heard people say that they can't, what would you call that? Zoonotic transmission is a thing. And I've heard other people say it is not a thing. Again, I've never tried it myself. I've never tried to go French kiss a weasel and get whatever it had. So I don't know. I have never done it myself. If anybody actually caught like a disease from an animal, let me know. I'd love to hear about that and whether it's a thing or not. Robert says, this is why there is such a push to get to Mars and colonize it. The rich and powerful know a cure for death is about to be announced. Great, but if nobody ages and dies, this planet is too small to provide. If nobody dies, to make room for the babies. And you are absolutely correct there. You're absolutely correct. That's like a bad sci-fi movie, isn't it? It's like that, what was that one with Matt Damon? Matt Damon and the rich people go up to orbit to live in the space stations, and the poor people stay down on Earth with the dirty water. Yeah, whatever that one was called. Yeah, maybe that's what we're looking at, right? Crazy. Let's see. Ben says, I know a guy who knows a guy. All right, that's cool. If you let me know. And how do you catch it? Do you got a French kiss the weasel, or I don't know? Let's see. Joe says, bet your ass Americans will smoke in those chambers. They can cremate themselves. You're damn right they will. You're damn right they will. What's up, Penny? Thanks for showing up. I see you there. Penny on YouTube. Everybody follow the Curious Bunny on YouTube. Let's see. The beds are real without a doubt. Yeah, for sure. So actually, hyperbaric chambers actually have been used to treat different things through the years. I looked into this a little bit. Narcolepsy's one. If you go, you go down in a submarine too fast, you get the bends. You get those bubbles in your water because of the pressure, or water bubbles in your bloodstream. It's called the bends. And so you end up needing something to fix this. So you can cure the bends if it's not too far progressed with a hyperbaric chamber. It's something they've used again to treat narcolepsy, some other things, right? And there are drawbacks. Because there's pressure on your eyeballs, your vision takes a hit for a little while. So it's a thing. Like this is not a new technology. This has been around for a long time, and they use it to treat other things. So just FYI, that's it's a thing. It's a thing. Adrian says more like for Pelosi's freezer. Yeah, that's probably right. That's probably right. Elysium. That's the name of the movie. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Thank you. The Matt Damon. All right, here we go. We got a phone call. We're gonna take this, and then we'll keep on moving here. Let's see. We got what's up? This is Jeremy, right? It says Jeremy. Jeremy from Louisiana. Am I right?
Yeah. Hello there.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Yeah. I just figured that call would be a lot easier than typing because I suck at it.
Amen, brother. I appreciate you calling because now I can sip some beer. How are you doing? What's on your mind tonight?
Doing good. Where I'm at, it's 11:11. How appropriate. And
yeah.
I just would like to share some of my knowledge, just like you're sharing knowledge. And I've been following quite a bit, and just trying to follow the topic here.
Okay. Go right ahead, sir. Oh, okay.
So,
Which topic? The hyperbaric chamber or?
DNA.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I got you.
Yeah, I was trying to tell you about extending the telomeres at the ends of the DNA strand.
Okay. Perfect.
I believe that's what they were referring to. They just usually don't like to tell us that because it's such a simple answer, and people go, "Wait, that's it?" It's like, yeah, well, kind of, sort of, yeah.
Yeah. So for the elites,
being able to live for like 100, 200, 300 years, it depends on the length of your telomeres, and that's why some animals on this planet can do that without a problem until we mess with them, of course.
Right, of course. I mean, you can't be messed with and live that long. That makes sense. But okay, so do you think, like I've heard this. Now this is a theory I've heard, that there's a secret medical program used by the elites, and that's why guys like what's his name, Henry Kissinger can still be like, working and doing his like dirty up the world thing at like age 95, right? Is that kind of what they've been doing?
Yeah, and Soros.
And George Soros and guys like this, right?
Is still moving around, and he looks like he's Walking Dead.
He totally looks like he's The Walking Dead. So I wonder if this has been known for a very long time. Do you think that's part of that? Whatever this, again, like I said, I have no evidence of this. I've heard people say it. But what do you think?
Part of the hidden knowledge and hidden technology to keep for themselves. So they keep themselves alive while killing us all slowly with, adding cloned DNA into the vaccines and crap.
Okay. Actually, I wonder. Okay, so you do think there's a secret medical program then, and this is part of it?
It's the genetics program has been going on probably as long as humans can remember. There's been multiple issues in our timeline where there's been more than one time where our humanity has almost been wiped out, and those that watch us had to come in and make some more. So, and every time they do that, our history's reset. So we really don't know how long we've been here. And the closest I've found to any number whatsoever was doing Atlantis research. And that's like, I think the newest part of the Atlantis research I found was somewhere around 200 to 300,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And that'll be the last recreation of humanity from what I understand, which that last genetics program was more than likely the Japanese. They have a shrine, and they don't exactly tell everybody what it is, but it was when they were fabricated. And that was sometime either right after Atlantis or right before it fell, one of the two, because it's a protected island nation, and it's just entirely too convenient for that not to have occurred. Because they're so unique, so organized, so specialized.
Okay, I can buy that. All right. So what comes to mind too is the lifespan of humans, and like you said, there's been iterations of humanity over the years that have come and gone with cataclysms, right? Like either the flood or maybe who knows, maybe a different great reset.
Oh yeah, it's always something. We're quite fragile.
Yeah, exactly. Like always something. But if you go into old accounts, right, of like mythology, you go into the Bible, things like this, they talk about humans living hundreds of years, right? So this isn't like a brand new unheard of thing.
It used to be that way, and like until the more genetics manipulation came in, and I guess they figured we didn't need to live that long.
Right, exactly. Like so they suppressed the technology. Like I said, the telomeres, right, is what they're called. But if everybody knows this, then why shouldn't everybody be hopping in one of these things when they come home every day after school or every day after work, right? Hop in one of these things for 90 minutes and what? Bam, you live for 250 years. Like I don't know if that's the case, but if that's the case, then why the hell isn't everybody doing it? Like I said, they're $23,000. I looked it up tonight, just curious to see if you can actually buy one yourself, right. And you can. And so, like I said, that's like a car. But like, would you buy another car if you could live another 100 years? You're damn right. So would everybody else, right? I mean, hell yeah.
I'd save up for the best one I could find.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, there's something weird about this. Something weird. But yeah, go ahead.
It probably ties into hidden history and hidden technology and holding the best for the best and just giving everybody else what's left after. Yeah,
definitely. I appreciate it, man. Anything else on your mind tonight about any of the rest of this stuff? What about the minks? Did you know that minks were a thing still? Yeah.
No, I agree with what everybody else is saying. How it seems an awfully convenient way to get rid of the mink trade. It was like, oh yeah, they got COVID. They all got to go.
They all got to go. But again, like, so isn't it backwards and upside down? If you're like, okay, we think the mink trade is inhumane. All right, it's inhumane. So the way to get rid of it is to just murder 15 million of them in a weekend. You see what I'm saying? It's like upside down and backwards. That's how we get rid of the mink trade.
Either that or it's some kind of backwards ritualistic sacrifice. I don't know. The people that make these decisions are so messed up in the head. It's hard to wrap your brain around it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I can't even imagine like murdering a dozen of these things, but 15 freaking million of these. My Lord.
Right, yeah. and it's so unnecessary in 2020 to even have a mink trade. With all the ability to fabricate fake fur, it's you can get it at Walmart.
Exactly. For cheap.
And in some ways it keeps you warmer than the natural stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's cost effective.
Right. Of course. I mean, it smells like China when you get it, but what doesn't? What?
They can always use some of their Chinese deodorant.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the new car smell, but the opposite.
Right. You know, like all the masks and sanitizer you get from Walmart, it comes from the same place COVID came from.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I'll get to that in a sec. So China has made a new claim, which we'll get to in a second. You can stay as long as you want. I'm not trying to run you off, but I'll get to that in a sec. China has said it's not them. China has said it's not them. So we'll get to that just a sec. But okay, any thoughts?
Well, they're actually telling the truth.
What's that?
They're actually telling the truth.
Are they? China's telling the truth this time?
Yeah, they've been made to be the scapegoat because it's so easy to blame them for stuff. Because they do stuff all the time and they never get caught. So you have this this underground organization that runs the globe, and they're like, you know what? How about we just blame it on China? And everybody goes, oh yeah, they would totally do that.
Yeah, they totally would. They totally would. I mean, it's changed, right? It was the wet market, and then it was possibly a lab, and then we actually had Mike Pompeo, who used to be head of the CIA, who's now Secretary of State here. He came out and said they have evidence that it came from a lab in China. Like, he actually said it. They don't publicize it that much, but he said that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, who knows? Yeah. More BS from our guys or more BS from their guys? It's impossible to say, right?
But they also involved... it was a professor, was it Harvard, and another one. And they were supposedly paid by the Chinese government, and then they had Chinese operatives in some of the labs, and then things went back and forth to Wuhan. This just all seemed very convenient. Yeah,
I mean, I heard some stuff about it coming from Canada, like they stole it from Canada and took it to Wuhan, and then this. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's a lot to this, and you hear a different story every week. It seems like
done all the time. That there's operatives here, there, stealing info from this group, stealing info from that group. Stealing new car designs back and forth in Asia between the Japanese and the Koreans. It's done all day, every day. It's just they decide, we're going to peel the skin back a little bit and show you how nasty this is. All right, let's put it back over. Okay,
I didn't need to see that. So made you look. Made you look.
Oh, wait. You didn't need to see that. But since you saw it, we'll go ahead and tell you what it was.
Right. All right, that makes sense. All right, so you think this is a thing? You think this is a thing? You think there's a worldwide conspiracy going on about a ton of shit, right?
Oh, always.
Okay, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. I got a comment here from Axel. I'll read in a sec, which will lead us to the next story. But before we do that, any thoughts on anything else we were talking about tonight, or anything else on your mind?
I was just wondering about the spectral processions that you mentioned in the topic.
We're about to get there. We're 15 minutes away. I'm going to talk about it. We've got one in Hawaii. We've got one in Pennsylvania. So, not to spill the beans and spoil the lab here, but that's what's coming up. About 15 minutes, we'll get into that. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. You got any thoughts on spectral processions?
I do if it's what I think you're talking about, because I normally hear about it as spectral projections.
Okay. Yeah. So that word kept. So I kept doing it. And I kept getting spectral possessions was like auto correcting, and also search engines were coming up with that. It's not those. It's processions. It's multiple spirits in a group moving together. That's what we're talking about here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like a hunting party.
Yeah. Exactly.
A training group.
Yep, you got it. But if you have a comment on the projections, like an astral type of projection, you think maybe the ghosts come from another dimension or something? No problem. Love to hear that if you got a take on that too.
Well, let's see. As far as the interdimensionality of souls, it depends on your thought process and where you want to go. Because we can do it, they can do it from a parallel dimension that's like right next door. The physics. Speaking in a physics type of way. Like with the Bermuda Triangle, how people don't come back, and having stories of going to a place and then it's not there the next day, and then as far as like walking into people and then turn around and they're gone. It's crazy, but it's definitely been happening more often lately.
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard about it from people. I don't even know.
Yeah, there's a lot of actual claims too, and people with some in my opinion some compelling footage. Like I said, I'll have some links tonight, but I don't think I can play them on the show because they'll slap us with a copyright strike, because they're like these short clips and they're actually compelling. So they make sure they license them so that you can't really play it on a show like this without paying them, right? So yeah, but there's some pretty good footage of some stuff that makes it seem like it's a thing, like it's like it's actually a thing. So we'll get to some of that. I got some eyewitness accounts where people tell you the story actually in their own words, and that's some pretty terrifying stuff. But yeah, for sure. And also, if you guys haven't checked it out in the Discord, if you haven't joined the Discord, go join the Discord, and in the general chat at the top, there's a YouTube video pinned. Actually, I'll pull that out and we'll play that tonight, because it talks about what additional dimensions might look like, and how a creature that could slip between these dimensions would look to us, right? And it kind of uses simple geometric shapes, kind of sliding in and out of these planes to explain what that might look like. And so maybe that explains a lot of things all at once. So we'll pull that out and we'll look at it tonight. I think it's probably a good time to revisit that. But it's in the Discord if you guys haven't checked it out. It's talking about extra dimensional things. It's actually talking about objects, but of course that would also apply to creatures. So yeah. I appreciate the call, Jeremy. Anything else while we got you on?
I'm going to get here in a minute. I just need to do one thing. I have done research on the slipping back and forth dimensionally. As far as it has to do with time and it being congruent with the time in their dimension, because the time's not the same, and it's kind of like the cogwheels in a grandfather clock. Eventually all of them connect, and then it'll turn to the next minute or the next second. And then the way I found that it works is you have planetary alignments along with the time of day and the time of year, and it tied into originally when they did things like Stonehenge and other stone monuments in the megalithic period. You know, they knew that before we did, and they would do certain rituals on certain days at certain times, and then they would be able to bring an entity that they were concentrating on. They'd be able to bring it over for a certain period of time, and then it would go back if it was done the right way. If it was not done the right way, all kinds of crazy stuff would happen. Like people in the ritual going missing, or those that came through not being able to go back. And then I think that's why our governments research it so heavily, because they want to be able to do it the right way the first time without destroying certain harmonious balances of our planet and/or dimension. So that's how Atlantis fell in the first place, because they were playing too much with basically what we're doing with the quantum computing and CERN, and they had everything in one basket, and it just blew up in their hands.
Gotcha. So they took a step. That's the theory. That's cool. Took a step too far with technology, kind of flirt with the devil, and the devil comes through the portal, and it's a wrap. Yeah. That's one thing we haven't talked about quite a lot, is the ritualistic aspect of, let's say a rock concert or things like this. We'll have to do that in the future and talk about this. But yeah, definitely onto some good stuff here, some good thoughts, and you're amazing, bro. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you in the future. I'll let you go. I'm about to fall asleep.
Okay, you got the number, my man. You got the number. Thank you again for calling. That's Jeremy from Louisiana. You're the best, bro. Talk to you soon. Have a good night, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you listening. There we go. Easy as that. Easy as that. Look, you dial the number, right? You get on. Oh, that's the wrong button. You dial the number. You get on the show. You talk to me. You talk to whoever might be listening, and we'll shoot the shit. We'll talk about whatever. Spectral processions coming up. Not possessions, not projections. Processions. Multiple spirits walking together in a group. So we're going to be talking about in just a minute here. Coming up. All right. So then for the time being, we got a story that I promised there. Let's see. What's up, Sean? I see you there on Facebook. Thanks for showing up. CERN says, the other Sean, and then the other Sean says, CERN in conjuring entities and demons. Yeah, we got to do that. I was supposed to do a show with Millie. I think I ran her off last time because I barked at her. I thought she was like telling me to be more positive or some shit, and I think I barked at her. I probably shouldn't have done that because she was not talking to me, I don't think. But anyway, Millie, if you're out there, Millie, still waiting for you. Let's do the CERN show. I'm talking to you if you catch this on an archive. And again, my apologies for barking at you last show. I think I misunderstood what was going on. Okay. So with that said, I promised another article. So let's look at this real fast. Axel on YouTube says this, and this was exactly what I was going to talk about. Axel says there's evidence that COVID was in Italy as early as September. And hold on, let me find this. There it is. Let's see. So, okay, so we have Mike Pompeo in the United States saying that they have evidence that the pandemic, COVID-19, came from a lab in Wuhan, right? He said this. It's out there. You can look it up. I'm not going to do it because it's a thing. I promise it's a thing. He said I don't know if it's the truth because we can't trust a damn thing any of these assholes say. But I'm telling you it's a thing. Look it up. All right, so here we go. This, linking it right now, is exactly what Axel just said in the chat there. I had this pulled up. I was going to talk about this tonight. And it's a good segue here. China suggests Italy may be the birthplace of COVID-19 pandemic. And I talked about this a little while back, specifically with... I brought up, what's his name? The Cuomo from CNN. The guy that I just absolutely cannot stand. No, not that guy. His brother. The other guy. The other Cuomo I absolutely cannot stand. One's a politician, one's a propagandist. What a duo they make, huh? I tell you what. Wow. Big time family stuff there. Okay, so the Cuomo that was the governor in New York, I posted, I had this on the show maybe, I want to say a month ago. I saw he was actually claiming that the pandemic, the COVID-19 they got in New York State did not come from China. and he said it did not come from China. It came from Italy, right? And I know there's some evidence out there where people say this may be the case. Well, here we go. I didn't see this. This just happened today. Reported by the New York Post, November 20th, 2020. China suggests Italy may be the birthplace of COVID-19 pandemic. All right, let's see. China is using a new study about the early hidden spread of coronavirus in Italy to cast doubt on the firmly held assumption that the Asian nation was the birthplace of the pandemic, according to reports. Officials in Beijing are pushing a new study that suggests the contagion may have been spreading in the European nation as early as September, 3 months before it was confirmed to be spreading in the long-assumed epicenter of the Chinese city of Wuhan, the Times of London noted. The Asian nation has also previously questioned Spain about the origins of the pandemic, as well as the U.S. military claiming it brought the virus to Wuhan in October last year during the Military World Games, the report said. Chinese state media have now been strongly pushing the idea that the new study by the National Cancer Institute proves that the contagion likely started in Italy, not China, according to the UK paper. Quote, this once again shows tracing the virus's source is a complex scientific question that should be left to scientists, said China's foreign ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian. And according to the UK Times, it is a developing process that can involve multiple countries. So there you go. Once again, right, so we have individuals from China saying that this is not the case. It didn't come from China. We have Mike Pompeo here, again, part of the CIA, so you can't put it past him to be a lying POS because, well, you know, that's what they do. They're disinformation agents, and that's what they do. They lie about things. So who, again, right, we live in this world of propaganda versus propaganda. Who the hell really knows? You look at this study, you look at that study. One says China, one says Italy, one says this, one says that. One says it's the minks in Denmark. Not technically, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like, basically, you can kind of sniff out a scientist. You can pay him some dough, and you get the result you want, don't you? And then, of course, we're stuck in the middle with all this propaganda hogwash getting slung back and forth. And does it make you wonder? It makes me wonder. I'm not sure I buy this, to be perfectly honest, but it does make me wonder, right? It does make me wonder. You get a source out there that says maybe, and you got to think maybe, right? You got to think maybe. So anyway, what's up, Tamron? I see you there. Thanks for showing up, Tamron from South Africa. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got Brian. How you doing? Brian says the innocent will be made guilty and the guilty will be made innocent, just like they did Jesus Christ. There you go. I hope so. I hope that's the case. Well, except I don't want to be the guilty. Josh says I'm going to call in soon. All right, like right now. 702-957-1037. There you go. Join the Discord. You can get on the show either way. And let's see. If you're going to call in, Josh, now's the time, buddy. Now's the time. Now's the time. Let's see. What else do we got? Good morning, Tamron. What's up, Sean? Robert says Governor Cuomo was just awarded an Emmy for the COVID press conferences. I saw that. What a jerk that guy is. What an absolute punk. You see again, these they protect each other, right? They protect each other. I mean, what a clown. What a clown. The guy's a governor. He runs a shit show into the ground, right? People are dying over there at unprecedented rates from COVID, from shitty decisions he made. And he wins a TV award for being on TV. Yeah. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, boy. Okay. What's up, Bailey? I see you there. Thanks for showing up, Bailey. Let's see. Who else am I missing? I think we're good. YouTube. Yep. Hello. You're just in time. You're just in time for the good shit. Okay. If you're going to call, now's a good time. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. We'll put you on the show. Otherwise, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. And so if you're going to call Josh, was it Josh? I think Josh said. Who was it? Yep. I'm going to call in soon. Is that tonight or is that some other night? Hello. All right, so I'm going to do one more article to give you some time to call in, Josh. There's no time limit here, so you're good. If you want to call in after the break, that's fine too. I just want to make sure if you're going to call in, we give you some time right now to do that, and we'll do that. And then after the break here, we're going to talk about ghosts, right? We don't talk about ghosts a lot, but there's some, like I said, there's some compelling stories and some compelling video, and this stuff, per usual, goes back hundreds of years, right? It's not something that's been created in modern times. It's just old stories that certainly seem to seem to stick around, don't they? Okay, let's see. Let's see what else. People don't realize how significant CERN is, says Penny on YouTube there. What the hell's going on? I got people messaging me. What's going on here? Don't they know I'm doing a show? What's going on? Let's see. That's my brother. He gets a pass. Okay. All right. So here we go. We are going to do. What are we going to do? We're going to do a quick break. If you want to call in, Josh, no problem. We'll put you on just after the break. We're going to take 2 minutes off so I can swig some beer and make sure everything's good with Mrs. Strange and everything is safe and the batches are, or the hatches are battened down. See what I did there? The reversal. The tongue tie, the official tongue tie. We'll call that the official tongue tie of tonight. Sponsored. Troubled Minds Radio, sponsored by the official tongue tie, as we reversed what we meant to say. But okay, anyway, batten down the hatches, make sure everything's locked up and safe here. I'm going to take a quick 2 minutes. You guys do the same. Kick your feet up, get comfortable. If you're not in need of anything, if you need some ice for your drink, or need to get a snack, or stretch your legs, or hit the restroom, now's the time. We got 2 minutes, 2 minute quick break, and we'll be back to talk about ghosts. And these are probably some ghost stories you may not have heard. So let's play some music. What are we gonna play? Let's go with let's see. How about let's go with this one. 2 minutes. Be right back. What's up, Emin? Emin the Spook. How you doing, buddy? I see you there on YouTube. Just in time for the piss break. Yes, you are. All right, here we go. We're back. We're back. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're going to talk about ghosts now. Phone lines are still open if you guys want to be a part of the show. No problem at all. You can give us a call at this number right here, 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link, troubledminds.org, and you can find the phone number and the Discord link there as well. And yeah, that stays up. So if you missed this, you're listening to an archive and you want to join the Discord, just head on over there anytime, and just click the link on the top. It'll invite you to Discord. It's totally free, as long as you have an internet connection. I believe it works on almost anything: an Android phone, an Apple phone, works on a PC or a Mac, etc. So on, a tablet, whatever you got, it works on. It's free. Got an internet connection? Get your ass to the Discord. Get your ass to Discord. All right, here we go. Let's see, what else do we got? Elman, yes, Emin the Spook, thanks for showing up, my man. Emin from the Philippines, look at that. People listening all over the world. All over the world. Let's see. Sean says, I believe in aliens and ghosts, but ghosts are the only ones I've experienced firsthand my whole life. There you go. There you go. Maybe we'll talk about some that you've seen. Let's see. This one's for you, Bailey, by the way. You're just in time if you're hanging around. Let's see. We got, let's see. Ghosts, says Brian. Yep. Ghosts. Could have played Ray Parker Jr. Ghostbusters. Yeah, see? We totally could have done that, and that really would have been cool copyright-wise because they'd have just slapped a commercial on. Oh, and by the way, speaking of commercials on YouTube videos, did you guys see this? Just recently, they changed the terms of service on YouTube where they're going to play commercials on everything, whether you're monetized or not. So if you demonetize your channel intentionally so you could say some, hot and spicy shit and get away with it because they can't demonetize you because you demonetized yourself, it doesn't freaking matter anymore because they're going to run commercials on your shit whether you like it or not. And not only that, they're going to run commercials on content you create as a content creator, and then they're going to take the money for it. How about that? How about that? That's happening. That's a real thing. Terms of service just changed, and that's what's going down. Yeah, there it is. All right, so here we go. Yeah, we're talking about Hawaii tonight, Bailey. I don't know how long you've been in Hawaii if you're still there, but we're talking about Hawaii tonight. At least that's where we're going to start. All right, so let's start in Hawaii. And before I do any of that, I'll just play this clip from a Hawaii news station talking about a particular group of ghosts that runs around. That's right, in Hawaii. Let's play this, and we'll get to it. We'll get into this, talking about a spectral procession. All right, not a possession, not a projection, procession. And that means a group of ghosts traveling in a pack for a particular reason. That's what we're talking about tonight. Let's play this. This is the Night Marchers of Hawaii. Action.
While the stories of the Night Marchers in spirit are legend, their existence in the flesh and blood is fact and gives great insight into the culture of ancient Hawaii.
In the word there is life, in the word there is death, and in some families, even to speak it, they are afraid that they perhaps might invoke that entity to appear or to do something.
And the entities which Lopaka Kapanui speaks of are the Night Marchers.
They were the spirits or the ghosts of warriors whose job it was, when they were alive, to precede a person that was so sacred that as they passed, you could not look at them.
To do so meant death, which is why they gave everyone fair notice.
One of the things these processions did was to warn you by the sound of the conch shells, the drums.
Now in the afterlife, the warriors do the same. As Lopaka tells it, sightings are often accompanied by the sounds of those shells and drums for warnings of danger.
The best thing to do is get the hell out of there and run.
It's easy to see how the Marchers have evolved into boogeymen in popular culture, but history tells it otherwise.
They were just doing their job, I like to think.
Researcher and historian Nanette Napoleon uses the Night Marchers to give a window into life in ancient Hawaii.
Now, a lot of people don't realize that processions were a very common part of everyday life.
These processions served for the Ali'i to check on their lands and collect tribute as well. Everyone involved knew their part.
The commoners, when they saw Ali'i, they knew that the Ali'i, these are our Ali'i who were the manifestation of our gods, and that we need to honor them, pay tribute to them.
While her work is based on that which can be proven, Nanette allows for that which cannot. She believes in the Night Marchers, as does Lopaka, who has had what he believes is a personal encounter. He shares his stories not to induce fear, but to impart knowledge.
I want to talk about it because I want to dispel any misconceptions or urban legends or myths about the Night Marchers. But I also want to impart respect.
And that respect Lopaka speaks of is to not joke about the Night Marchers or even search for them, lest you find what you're looking for.
There you go. Lest you find what you're looking for. And why would you be worried about finding this pack of ghosts, right? This is from UFO Insight. Our good buddy Marcus Louth wrote this. He was on the show quite a ways back, And we should actually reach out to him and get him on the show again. He's from the United Kingdom, writes a bunch of really good stuff. If you haven't checked out UFO Insight, please do. And he also writes for Listverse and probably a bunch of like really sweet articles you guys have read about any of this. Like he writes about everything, like ghosts and aliens and missing folks and like mysteries the world over. This guy writes about all of it, and I'm actually very, very, very impressed with. I said this the first time around with it when he was on the show, with his wealth of knowledge. He's not just a one-trick pony with some aliens and shit. He talks about all of it. It's crazy. And here's another one by him, a fantastic one. I'd never heard of this before. So I was kind of just poking around UFO Insight and was like, wow, what is this? The Night Marchers of Hawaii. And you heard there on the audio clip that you might not want to find them. People shouldn't search for them because, well, some bad things might go down. So yeah, that's what we're talking about tonight. Ghostly processions, which would be a group of ghosts traveling together for whatever reason, right? And so I want to start with this. This is from Live About. I don't know what to say. Good night, Eddie. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll catch you soon, and thanks for contributing and being on the show with us the last couple times. It means a lot. It helps a lot, and etc. So on. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go with liveabout.com. And so now here's the thing, right? So this has got ghosts, poltergeists, and hauntings, right? I was looking at the different types of ghosts. And here's the thing, right? These are kind of generic descriptions, and this is kind of what people see as what, hauntings are, like ghost-wise and these types of things. Remind me to pull out that 4D thing, fourth dimensional thing, and we can talk about that a little bit later on. It's in the Discord. Okay. So, question, right here from the website: what is the difference among a ghost, a poltergeist, and a haunting? All right. Now, this is just one source. I was just trying to get one source that kind of had us like a different description of what the three things are. Okay. So this says, despite popular belief, there are distinct differences among ghosts, hauntings, and poltergeists. It says ghosts are thought to be the spirits of people that have been caught between this plane of existence and the next. They are intelligent beings, often capable of interacting with the living. All right, that's ghosts. Second is hauntings. Hauntings are recordings of an event in or on an environment. They worded that wrong, so I paraphrased. They do not interact with the living. So it says hauntings are recordings of an event in an environment. They do not interact with the living. All right? And third, poltergeists are neither ghosts nor hauntings, but are caused by the unconscious mind of a living person, usually under some kind of stress. All right, there we go. That's what these definitions are. And I know nobody has all the answers, especially when we're talking about the paranormal. But here we go. I just wanted kind of a way to look at it and kind of look at what these processions, these groups of ghosts might be. And just looking at this, you can kind of gather that maybe they're hauntings, right? According to this, or which would be recordings of an event on an environment, and they do not interact with the living, except that clip implied that these ghosts in Hawaii, named I keep forgetting what they're called, the Night Marchers of Hawaii, happen to be dangerous. All right, so we got a description there that doesn't quite fit, does it? If they don't interact with the living during a haunting, and yet somehow these ones are dangerous. What's up? All right, what's up? Let's see. We got some good chat in here talking about folks being haunted and some other stuff. Very good. If you guys want to tell us about your haunting story, we'd love to hear it. We do this live because of you. If you don't call, well, we will do the show eventually. That's the deal. You guys stop. We got a deal, right? You guys stop calling, the shows will stop. I'll stop doing them. All right. So there you go. Pressure's on you. I'm here twice a week at least doing my thing. When I can do it, pressure's on you. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubleminds.org. No pressure. The no pressure. You like that? The full court press. No pressure. All right. Anyway, it's all good. Okay. So then there you go. That's the thing. All right. So there's some definitions. There's some Hawaii, a little bit of lore from the night marchers in Hawaii, and you heard what they were, right? All right. Now, here's the thing. Let's see. Spectral processions. Now, I got this from, where did this come from? This came from the Scary Scotsman. That's not his name, but this is the first Scary Scott I've ever heard in my life. So I'm going to play these clips, and he's going to explain to you what this Hawaii spectral procession business is all about, okay? A little bit more in detail. We had the intro there from the news report, and we'll have some eyewitness folks a little bit later as well. But let's see. I'll put up some links you guys can check out as we go. But this is the Night Marchers in Hawaii, and actually, let me read this. Hold on. One moment, please. Just one moment as I drop the links in here. And yes, there you go. All right, let's see. There we go. All right, what's up, Adrian? I see you there. Thanks for sharing. Please, if you guys have not shared on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're at, please share. It does help the show a lot. It allows people to know that this is a cool place to hang out and we talk about interesting things. Like I said last show, may you live in interesting times. Well, these are interesting times for sure. Okay, here we go. So let's see. Am I in the Discord caller queue? That's a good question. Are you? I'm about to find out. Yeah. All right. Let's do this. We got, who is this? Josh. All right. Josh is calling in on Discord from Facebook. Josh from Facebook. What's up, my man? You're on Troubled Minds with Mike. There you go. You threatened to call in and you did it. You got it. Can you hear me? Can we hear you? Test 1 2.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Josh, welcome to the show. Okay. How are you, my man? Where are you calling from?
I'd rather not say.
Where at? Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, Mike.
I'm doing well. Can you speak up just a little bit? Maybe get closer to the phone. You're like kind of cutting out.
A little louder. Can you hear me now?
Perfect. I can adjust your volume. Just make sure you get close to the phone, or else it will cut out on you. Okay, go right ahead. How are you doing tonight? Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
I kind of wanted to state a theory I have.
Okay, what you got?
Yeah. Let me close this one so I can get on Discord. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I hear you fine. Yeah, it's
okay.
Best to close the stream because then you hear me twice and hear you twice, and it's a shit show.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, perfect. I can hear you great.
Okay.
You can hear me great. The stream can hear you great. All right, let's do this.
All right. So this theory is a little twisted, but it has to do with Trump and the military.
Okay.
And reptilians.
Okay, perfect. You're in the right place.
Okay.
And the reptilians. All right, what you got?
So I don't know if anyone knows that, the military asked Trump to be president. They were going to do a coup d'etat or whatever it's called, on Obama, take him out of office.
Okay. Wait. So, okay. So they were going to do it to Obama before Trump showed up, and so they asked him to be okay. All right. Continue.
So he became president, and he's like this big joke. Everyone thinks he's an asshole, whatever. He talks a bunch of shit, whatever. But meanwhile, the military is grabbing all the pedophiles and everything, and that's the whole Epstein thing.
Okay, right.
And they got that list. And they've been doing this, and they're getting everyone together and taking them to, what's that island called? Hold on. I can't think.
Little Saint, the Epstein Island, right?
Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Yep. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And they're making more camps there to pull all the pedophiles and everything, get them all together and take them there.
Okay.
And what it has to do with the reptilians is because the Illuminati symbols are quite similar to the pedophilia symbols. And how it has to do with reptilians, my theory is that Earth is already infiltrated with the aliens, and that's what Trump's trying to take out of the picture.
Okay.
Because the reptilians are going to drink the blood, because they need that protein to survive.
Yep, the adrenochrome. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if we're already infiltrated and he's just trying to get rid of everyone. And it has to do with the COVID-19 thing too, because if we created it, or you said Italy, but if someone created this thing where they can only kill the reptilian bloodline, that it would wipe out the population of that line of blood.
Okay, I have heard this before actually in I think a slightly different iteration, and it's very very well parallels the we're going to call them Pianon. You know what I'm talking about? We're not going to say the name because you get taken down, but it's a different letter just after P in the alphabet, but it's Pianon. You get what I'm saying? I'm sure you've heard of these guys, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay. So it very similarly mirrors that, as far as I'm aware. Is that the source, or do you think there's something else here, something else to it?
I think it has to do with just swiping out the bloodline, and I think that's what the COVID is. They were able to create a virus to kill the bloodline, because you don't want to induce panic saying aliens are here, but it also explains Trump's space army too.
Right, the Space Force. Yeah, there were some interesting things that happened around the time he enacted the Space Force. So I wonder, right? Makes you wonder.
Yeah. Just a theory I had.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, no, definitely good. Anything else on your mind tonight about the ghosts or anything else, or care to expand on the theory there?
Well, there's other theories. You know that JFK Jr. is still alive. I don't know if you've heard that one.
Yeah, I think that's part of the Pianon as well, right? I think they even speculated he was Pianon, right?
Yeah.
That's how supposedly
he's getting Trump's getting all his intel from JFK Jr.
Right.
Supposedly, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Who really knows, because they don't let us in those meetings. Yeah, they totally don't. Yeah, but okay. So, all right. So then let me get your. Well, I got you on the phone. Then let me get your take on the ghosts here. Do you think this is some sort of interdimensional thing? Do you think spirits kind of like slip into one state or the other and forget who they are, like they say, kind of like in the old ghost tropes, or do you think it's like something different, something completely different? What do you think about that?
I think it's layers of honestly, what I think is kind of weird too, but parallel universes.
Okay.
And we can see them at certain times depending on certain frequencies or certain radiation in there.
Okay. So it is some sort of a interdimensional barrier. So what about? So then let me ask you this: regarding that, in your theory, your opinion. Of course, we have theories here. We don't have answers. I wish I had answers. Mm-hmm. But do you think that so our spirit moves and can interact with those things, or is it all, or there's no spirit and it's like a quantum entanglement sort of situation with our universe and the next, and those are the ghosts we think we see, which are maybe not our spirits, but are maybe something else, somewhere else. I don't know. What do you think? How does that work?
The quantum entanglement thing is really interesting. In fact, of our bodies, we don't use all our brains. Our brain. We don't use our whole brain. So my theory is whenever we lack oxygen to our brain, it creates what people call it the spirit, but it also interacts with the multi-dimensional theory too, along with the parallel universes and stuff like that.
Okay, so you think it's kind of a sloppy mess between all of those things, like including aliens too, right? So maybe interdimensional aliens as well.
It all kind of interlocks.
Sorry, you cut out again. Get close to the phone if you can, please. It's cutting out.
It all interlocks
in a kind of weird, fucked up way.
Okay. So I mean, we're all one multiverse after all, so it's going to have to interact one way or the other together, right? Okay. All right. Any other takes on anything else we talked about, or we'll care to expound? Is that your time, my man? No problem. I'm just trying to give you some time.
My theory is, too, our body has a certain kind of frequency.
Okay.
Which would we wouldn't be able to interact with other things, nor will our eyes be able to see things that are actually going on in the world. There could be multiple things going on in the world, but we just don't have that frequency to interact with them. But occasionally it does happen.
Okay, so it crosses over, and for whatever bizarre accidents, whatever it happens to be, there's a lot of things at play here, right? Like we talk about the the planets and the horoscopes and like these sorts of things. Like everything's always in constant motion. And to me, it's not hard to believe there's some sort of like accidental crossovers. Like they say, after right around Halloween, the pagan holiday, you get the veil thins, and it's you get that the crossover becomes more common for a month or two or whatever it happens to be. You know what I mean? There's so much motion between everything. Like the universe, all parts of it are always in motion. It seems to me that it seems like an easy take to just say, you never know. Like this might be universal. This might be dimensional. This might be, maybe it's spirits. Maybe all this works, and maybe it all works together somehow. How it works together, I think we need to work on that, because there's a big theory there. There's a big ass theory there. But yeah,
here's another take I have on the reptilians too.
Okay, go.
4G and 5G networking, the towers and everything. I think that's why we're seeing more and more like shape shifting, the eyes changing on camera, stuff like that. Is because it changes the radiation in the air. They say it's a minute amount, but it might just be enough to trigger their brain where it doesn't work on the human mind like it should.
Okay, I got you there.
Where we see them as human.
Yeah, so we've actually had people call into the show and say that they've seen them with their own eyes, like actually seen them, not on television. Like actually saw them like kind of start to like their human skin kind of regress and see like reptilian eyes and this type of thing. So yeah, I've
seen it once.
You've seen it. When? Can you tell us about it?
Someone's eyes. Now, he might have been messed up on drugs, but his eyes were slits, and it lasted for like an hour. I've never seen anything like that before. It kind of weirded me out. I couldn't stare him in the eyes.
Okay, so you've seen something you think might be a reptilian. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. Like I said, it could have been drug motivated. I don't know. I don't know any drugs that would do that, but it was beyond weird.
That sounds beyond weird to me. That's the type of thing that will definitely make you change your mind about some things, doesn't it?
Oh.
Yeah. Right on. Okay. Gotcha. I think we got somebody else about to jump in behind you. Any final thoughts while we got you on the phone here?
No, that was about it.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Hear everyone else's outlook on this shit too.
Okay. Well, as you know, we continue to talk about this stuff. And there's a ton of it. It just keeps coming. So yeah, we'll definitely get into this theory and talk about this as we go. Maybe not tonight, but stick around. You never know what tomorrow brings. God willing. I always gotta say God willing. Don't tempt the fates. I appreciate you calling in, man. That's Josh from one more time. Where are you calling from?
I'm not saying.
Where at?
I'm not saying.
Oh, you're not saying.
I don't
okay.
need to say. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Keep it anonymous.
Okay. Even a state or a country, that's okay. I'm not going to make it. I appreciate the call, Josh. Appreciate you calling in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the contributions on Discord and everything else too. You're the best. There you go. As simple as that. Thanks, Josh. We'll talk to you soon. Moving you back to the caller queue. Yep. And there you go. Simple as that, guys. Just like Josh, call in. Bam. Just like Jeremy earlier, 702-957-1037. We're watching the phone lines, watching Discord. If you want to jump in and be part of this, I think Johnson said he was going to be in the thing here, the caller queue. Where you at, Johnson? All right. Anyway, no problem. You can jump in whenever you're ready. But all right. So we're talking about the ghosts here, the ghosts, right? And again, right, the interdimensional mix. We're talking about spirits. We're talking about hauntings. We're talking about this stuff, the stuff that Josh just brought up as well, that not quite the reptilians tonight, but we'll get to that another time. We talk about those quite often. I think we'll bring Ash back for that. I think somebody asked where Ash is at tonight. Ash is a busy man. He's got lots of things to do. Or, busy lizard. That's what I mean. He's the only one up on Mars, so, there's a lot of, grunt work that needs to be done. He doesn't have lemmings or peons to help him out. He has to do it all himself. So there you go. So that's where Ash is at. But he'll be back soon. He's definitely part of the show. He'll be back soon. Okay. So as we're talking about, like I said, again, if you want to be a part of the show, no problem. We got time for you. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Thanks again for the call, Josh and Jeremy, so far. Good stuff tonight. I love hearing from folks that I haven't heard from in quite a while. So if you if you're new for the first time, you never called in, never been on the show, I'll be nice. I'll be nice to you. All right. We don't do the humiliate you and hang up on you thing. So yeah, I got you. We can get you through this. So do call if you're interested in this type of thing, and we'll get there. We'll get it done. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. And yeah, all right. So let's go. We're gonna play clip 1 of this, and if somebody jumps in for the call, no problem. We'll pause this and keep on rolling. But now this is the spectral. What is this? Hold on. I forgot where we're at. See, too much in my brain at one time. It's like overload. Did I mention this is not scripted and it's all like a loose outline and we just go from there? Yeah, well. Yeah, well, now you know. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, so this was the Night Marchers. I did link this. We're going to link it again, and then we're going to play some clips from this. Here we go. Blam. There we go. Not from this in particular, but some clips about the Night Marchers. Yeah, Joe's been spooked. I think they got to him. Did they get to you, Joe? I think they got to you, Joe. I haven't heard from you in a while, buddy. Joe from Florida. We're talking to you, buddy. Did you get it? Did somebody knock on your door? Tell you not to call in? Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Talking to you, Joe. 702-957-1037. All right. I'm going to play this clip. We'll get this started. The Night Marchers. All right. This is from MauiMagazine.net. And this is anyway, but the clip is not. As always, the clips we play will link after the show. They'll be in the YouTube description, so you can find all that stuff there. Here we go. Part 1 of the Night Marchers. This is from the Spectral channel, I believe. That's why I labeled it that. Okay, Night Marchers from Hawaii. Here we go. Part 1. This is what they sound like. This is what they look like. This is what this is all about. Couple clips here. Action.
But what if I told you that there are accounts of vengeful spirits amassing together to walk the streets and fields at night? A malevolent mass of angry ghosts hell-bent on destroying those they encounter. As it turns out, such accounts do exist, and they are prevalent across cultures, leading some credence to the stories themselves. There are several legends that speak of armies of the dead, some of them benevolent, others decidedly not so. But while accounts of the rotting corpses of ancient warriors rising from the grave are aplenty, it is the incorporeal souls of such creatures which concerns us tonight. The Santa Campagna in Spain, the wild hunt mythologies from northern Europe, and even the Benandanti in Italy, which are astral projections from living people doing battle against witchcraft. All of these will have their own entries in the Spectral Companion, but for this episode we focus on one special group: Night Marchers. Some say that when ghostly footprints are found in the soil of the Hawaiian Islands and there is no one around, that the Night Marchers have passed by recently. And who are these ominously named entities? They are the ancient dead, the ancestral warriors who once fought and died during great battles of the past. Local traditions among the Hawaiian Islands claim that the Night Marchers only reveal themselves on certain days and in certain conditions, as though they are bound to their graves until these fateful nights, when they can rise and terrorise those around them.
Okay, there we go. Is that the scariest Scotsman? You'll have to forgive my accents. I think he's Scottish, right? That's the scariest Scottish dude I've ever heard in my life. But I didn't think Scottish folks could be scary, or whatever accent that is. So you'll have to, again, forgive my take on that. I don't know exactly where he's from, but holy shit, right? The guy's telling us a ghost story. It's good stuff. But okay, so now he says in Hawaii, when you find footprints in the sand and nobody's been around, it's possible that they came from these Night Marchers. And they travel in packs, in groups, and they're not easily found, one, and when they are, they might be dangerous. Let's go part 2. Action.
Their power is often connected with calendar nights traditionally associated with the god Kanaloa, This ancient being, often depicted as a squid or octopus, is said to be the keeper of the underworld. Perhaps then it is Kanaloa himself that releases the armies of the dead one night at a time. The spirits of the dead warriors are said to rise up out of their burial sites from battlefields where their bodies have been subsumed by soil and grass, or from the ocean itself where their dead bodies lie at the bottom of an abyssal sea. Once risen, the dead spirits come together to form a menacing troop, who are then said to march across the islands of the living. Many hold in their hands spectral counterparts of the spears and other weapons they used to kill during their lifetimes, and they are depicted often as wearing traditional dress designed for battle. As they march, many of these dead warriors shout and chant together, beating mournfully on great drums and blowing eerie notes on conch shells. This, it is said, acts as a warning to the living. When the drums and ethereal music is heard, those living on the islands are forewarned. Do not cross paths with the armies of the dead, or suffer their fate. Nowhere is safe. The terrain is no impediment to night marchers. At their own choosing, they can glide over sand, soil, water, and even rock.
Okay, there you go. Ancestral spirits marching together, as maybe they once did, 1,000 years ago. Nobody really knows when this started, but these stories go back generations. Pretty crazy stuff, right? And not only that, notice, he said they're not like the basic hauntings that we talked about to begin this, where it was some sort of maybe snapshot of something frozen in time. Some entities, some souls, some battle, some something. That these are actually dangerous entities. And if you don't give them the proper respect, you'll end up just like them. Which means, of course, dead. Part 3.
The darkness is their domain, whether through choice or being empowered by the retreating light of the sun. However, there are accounts of night marchers appearing even during the day. This is especially the case when one of their descendants has recently died, and night marchers manifest to escort the recently departed to the realm of spirits, perhaps even to Kanaloa and the underworld itself. What should concern the living most is what will happen if you are seen by a troop of night marchers. If they do see you, their thirst for battle will be unleashed and you will be hacked to pieces. In other accounts, being seen by night marchers results in an untimely death not long after. One way to avoid such a fate is to respond to the sounds of the march. As soon as the drums and conch playing is heard, you must go inside and then drop to the floor, lying face down against the ground. This is seen as a mark of respect. If you are lucky, the spirits will accept your submissive gesture and leave you be. There are two other ways to avoid death at the hands of night marchers. One is to seed an evergreen plant found on the islands around your home or place of sanctuary. The plant is called Cordyline fruticosa and is found throughout the Pacific Islands and beyond.
Okay, there you go. So we got some interesting things, right? So if you don't pay them the proper respect. All right, so let's back this up. You're on the beach in Hawaii, right? You've had a couple of drinks called the Twilight Zone. You're walking out kind of further past, let's say you're on Oahu, because, well, you know, most people know Oahu. You walk out on the beach at night. Let's say you're by yourself. You've had a couple, 3 drinks called the Twilight Zone, and you're kind of out there, and you're just enjoying the warm air, got your toes in the sand, watching the ocean, feeling the breeze, and then you start to hear, out there in the darkness somewhere, the slow, steady beating of a drum. You start to hear what sounds like somebody blowing into a conch shell. And you think you maybe hear footsteps. Not one, but many sets of footsteps. That's what we're talking about here. The Night Marchers of Hawaii, Part 3.
The darkness is their domain, whether through choice or being empowered by the retreating light of the sun. However, there are accounts of night marchers appearing even during the day. This is especially the case when one of their descendants has recently died, and night marchers manifest to escort the recently departed to the realm of spirits, perhaps even to Kanaloa and the underworld itself. What should concern the living most is what will happen if you are seen by a troop of night marchers. If they do see you, their thirst for battle will be unleashed and you will be hacked to pieces. In other accounts, being seen by night marchers results in an untimely death.
Oops, that's part 3. We already played that. All right, we'll play part 4 in a sec. But okay, another thing to note. There was a couple things about that clip that I didn't say. So not only can they attack you physically, right? They'll hack you to pieces, so the legends say. Another one is they can curse you, and then you will meet an untimely death in the coming days. What's up, Joe? Anybody from Hawaii come out to you in Florida there? You seen anybody from Hawaii? And then notice at the end of this clip he says that there's a particular plant that you can place by your residence and it keeps them away. It pacifies them somehow. It repels them. And it kind of reminded me of like the legends of the folklore, the mythology of like the vampire, right? If you tack a little clove of garlic above your door, then they cannot actually enter your home. Or the legend of the werewolf, where you use wolfsbane to keep them away, right? Similar types of instances here, but we're talking about, again, this is like a marching ghost army, like an ancient army of Hawaiian warriors. That and there's actually different iterations of this in different places. So this is not just Oahu, right? I mentioned that because most people know that, but they say that it happens on the Big Island in Hawaii. It happens all over the place. That this particular marching band of spiritual warriors, let's call them, are not really confined to a particular area. That they end up in particular spots more often. However, they kind of range among the entire Hawaiian Islands. So let's go to part 4. Again, the scary Irish Scotsman, or whoever it is. I know if you're Irish or Scottish, you're pissed off because I don't know the difference. I'm really sorry. So if that's the case, let me tell you, am I from California or am I from Oregon? There you go. You tell me if you're Irish or Scottish, and then we can be mad at each other. All right, here we go. We're going to go with part 4, the scary Irishman and the Night Marchers of Hawaii. Action.
It is believed this plant has special properties which ward off evil spirits when they approach. Another way to avoid being cut to shreds by night marchers is to be simply very lucky. If you are even distantly related to one of the ancient beings, they will scream the word Nau, which means mine, alerting the rest of the procession of the dead that their descendant should be spared. One theory as to why night marchers are so hell-bent on killing the living is due to the purpose of their march. In some instances, they are said to be carrying with them a former king or chief. According to ancient Hawaiian traditions, the remains of such celebrated figures are sacred and not to be looked upon by mortals, nor should you cast your eye upon their spectral being. If you're unlucky enough to look in the direction of one of these dead kings, the guarding night marchers will carry out a most horrific execution. Their eyes will glow white hot, and the mortal who has seen what they should not have is incinerated instantly, vaporized by the glowing stare of the dead warriors. Those who have survived the passing of night marchers claim that they carry with them the foul stench of death and decay, and that this too precedes their journey into the living. So, should you visit the Hawaiian Islands and hear the beating of drums, playing of conch shells, and strange, ominous chanting at night, be sure to hide and hope for the best. For the rotten stench of death will soon be upon you, accompanied by the searing gaze of undead warriors who show no mercy to the living.
I'm telling you, Irish, Scottish, I have no idea, but he's the scariest one of those, that accent I've ever heard in my life. Pretty good stuff. I'll link that again at the, he's got a whole channel where he does scary stuff. So if you like it, I dig it. I really dig it. I'm gonna listen to more of this guy because he reads it well. He tells a good story and fantastic stuff. William says he's not cussing a lot, so probably Scottish. There you go. Maybe. I don't know. If anybody knows what that accent is, let me know. Or if you can tell the difference between Irish and Scottish, I cannot. There we go. Okay, so I think I said that last time when we talked about the drunk Scot, right? We had a drunk Scottish guy that was on some clips I was playing. Anyway, let's see. Got some good stuff. Scully says, what's up, Scully? He says, when I lived in Hawaii, they always said don't whistle at night because it calls them out. There you go. This is a real thing. This is something that people in Hawaii have seen and believe, right? This is not just like a scary ghost story. This is people have seen this with their own eyes. And again, right? So it's an ancestral sort of march. We don't know if it's ceremonial or if it's like a war tribe or if it's both or if it's some mixture of the two. Like they said, in some cases they show up in the daytime and they show up to actually carry one of their ancestors out into the world of the undead or the non-living or the dead or whatever you want to call it. So there's a lot of ways this legend goes, and again some particular spots. So let me pull this out real fast. Okay, so let's see. Axel says going to hop in the queue. No problem. Let's talk about this. All right, let's see. Let's see. What do we got? Perfect. All right, we got Axel in the queue. We're about to do this. There you go. You want to be part of the show? As simple as that. 702-957-1037. Join the Discord, troubledminds.org, the official website. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, please do. Even if you don't intend on being on the show, because there's a lot of really good information that gets traded around there, and around them there parts. All right, let's do this. We got Axel. Axel, what's up, my man? How are you? You called in one time. I met Axel on Twitter, and Axel seems to be a cool dude. How you doing tonight?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hear you just fine. How you doing, my brother?
All right, I'm on the other phone.
Okay.
Oh, if I pause awkwardly, it's because I'm flipping my mic up so I don't cough all over the air on your show.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
Not too bad. I'm smelling a little better than I was yesterday. I figured that, you know what? Let's take this seriously.
Okay.
I mean, this story seems really similar to the Wild Hunt stories from Europe to me.
Okay, exactly.
So
he mentioned that.
Those are similar. There's a variety of legendary king figures leading ghostly processions. So why is this something that just happen? Is this just something that happens everywhere? Kings lead armies of ghosts around?
I think that's the thing, right?
I don't know. I just sort of like, well, what would be the explanation for why this just happens all over the place, though?
Well, not just that. That's a good question. Not just that. It's happened for apparently hundreds or thousands of years. So I don't know. That's a hell of a question. So this isn't the only one. I've picked out a second one we're going to do that's in the United States. We'll talk about that tonight. But yeah, I don't know. And again, so the different things too. So is it like a kingly procession of warriors, or is it like some sort of a ceremonial thing where they maybe come back? I don't know. Let's ask you this: do you believe in ghosts at all?
I mean, I think I mean, to be honest, not really. I'm kind of a good materialist, but I'm more than willing to take it seriously and think about what it would mean if that was what was going on. I mean, I know the wild hunt stories date back to antiquity. The Roman historian Tacitus talks about it in one of his historical works on Germany. And so, I mean, like, they're certainly very old. That's like early 2nd century AD. I just think it's curious. And look, if I was being honest, I'd be like, it kind of seems like a story that maybe got transplanted to Hawaii in the sense that, because it seems so similar to the wild hunt stories, but I might be being a spoil sport.
No, you're fine. That's the point of doing this is we do it kind of in an agnostic manner, right? We're not really trying to say this is a true thing or this is like a bunch of hogwash. We're like, these are the legends that have been told. This is the evidence we have based on eyewitness accounts or the mythology or the folklore, whatever it happens to be. So it's okay. Like, if you don't believe it, it's totally cool. If you do, it's totally cool. Like, that's the whole point of the conversation. It's like, is this a real thing? Could this be real? If it is, very much like you said, let's take it seriously. And if it is, then why does it happen not just here, but other places in the world? I think that's a fantastic question. So do you think it's like that part of that universal subconscious? We've heard this before where one folklore gets transplanted from one area to another. These stories travel based on word of mouth and campfire, ghost stories at night. Or do you think that maybe there's something to it? Maybe the materialist is wrong and you're not really sure. I don't know. You tell me, buddy.
I mean, I very well could be. I guess if we were going to take it seriously, it does seem that like important people hang around for a long time after they die, right? Because like, at least I'm more familiar with the European stories, but at least in those stories, they're still talking about like legendary kings from, the 6th century is who's leading these hunts and stuff. And so in any case, it does seem like, I mean, maybe like famous people, because, I guess maybe because famous people, maybe because people still believe in them, that they like persist in a more like fully functional form in a way. And that's why, because these stories are always like a bunch of nameless people and then one guy that we're really familiar with. I don't know if the guy you played talked about it, but one of the things I've read about the Night Marchers is like, they're led by the legendary king, Kamehameha, the Hawaiian king. But so I don't know. I mean, that'd be sort of my guess. I just sort of wanted to call in because I've been listening all night and I wanted to come say hi.
Yeah, no sweat. I appreciate the input and the feedback. Okay, so and you were correct. So based on so what I've read, hold on, I got this document I want to link here. So there, if you're interested in this, and I am greatly, because this is the type of stuff that I'm into, right? Like obviously I wouldn't be talking about this shit, but check this out. There's a really cool write up that was done by a let me find it here. Let me find it, and I'll link it so when you get back in the chat, you can check it out if you want to kind of dig into this a little bit. But you are correct with the King Kamehameha, right? So there's an actual, but I think part of the thing here is that there's different iterations of this because there's also like the demigods and the gods of Hawaii, like Pele, for instance, which is the one that everybody knows from Hawaii, the goddess of the volcanoes, and the female, like the sacred feminine, this whole bit. They're saying that many of these night marchers are actually not just Kamehameha and some of the other kings of old from the Hawaiian Islands, but they're also some sort of like god forms or demigod forms. And they said that Pele's sister has been seen, and these types of things, right? So how I would know the difference between that, and you and me probably wouldn't know the difference, but if you're there in the Hawaiian Islands and kind of grew up on this stuff, maybe you would. Right? Maybe you would recognize like a divine description of somebody versus somebody else based on what they have.
You know what? I hadn't thought about that, but that's a really good point. I mean, like, how would I recognize King Harala is often who is told to lead the wild hunt, but like, how would I recognize him if I did see him?
Yeah, exactly. Like, same here. You'd be like, wow, that's a king. How would you know who these
people were?
King Richard the Lionheart, right?
Yeah. I guess if it was George Washington or something, I might be able to peg him as long as he was wearing the wig.
Right,
but
and the goofy hat.
Abraham Lincoln, I can identify.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. So again, right, it kind of like most of these ghost stories, it's you have to take a lot of it at the word of the people who are telling these stories, right? And so my take on this, on many of these things that we talk about, is that like a lot of people, right? Like you meet a lot of people in your life, and for the most part, people aren't insane. You know what I mean? And then you meet people who aren't insane and they can tell you a story like this. And it's even more telling to me when they don't like to tell it. You know what I mean? When I have a way of kind of drawing this stuff out of people a little bit. I don't know if they smell it on me. They smell the skinwalker on me or something. I don't exactly know, but I have a way of like, we sit down for dinner, right? Just talking about normie shit. And then by the end of it, we're talking about Bigfoot. You know what I mean? They're just this weird, this is the bizarre part. I swear to you, I don't bring it up. It just comes up. It's just, I don't know. Definitely cool stuff.
I do find it's something that people do like want to talk about. Like, inevitably, if I'm reading something about like the JFK assassination and someone asks me what I'm reading, I tell them, they immediately like want to talk about the JFK assassination.
Yeah, kind of perk up, right? Like,
I do think people, I think people do want to talk about these conspiracy things because I think more people than let on believe in a lot of it.
Yeah, I think so too. But and I mean, okay, so even as a materialist, you got to admit there's a bunch of shit that we have no fucking clue what the hell's going on, right? And it's some shit that's like seems spooky sometimes, right? Like quantum entanglement is Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. You know what I mean? There's some scientific shit out there that is still just woo woo as far as we're concerned. You know what I mean?
You know, I'm certainly willing to take these claims seriously and think about them and think what the ramifications would be. I was just putting my cards on the table that if you really pressure me and are like, are ghosts real? I'm probably going to say no.
Nah.
But certainly for the purposes of talking about it, it's fun. I'll do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thanks for having me on, Michael. I appreciate it. I will probably continue to listen.
Okay.
But I want to come in and say hi.
Appreciate it. This is Axel, guys. Met him on Twitter. He's got the COVID. Good prayers, good frequencies, good vibrations to this man. Get well fast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for calling in tonight. There you go. Easy as that, right? Easy as that. 702-957-1037. Join the Discord. There you go. A self-described materialist willing to take it seriously, right? And I think the heart of the conversation is that you got to challenge yourself a little bit and maybe do. You know, I'm probably with him. You know, I've never seen a ghost myself. So I can't really say, well, they probably exist. But I know many of you have. I know many people that have. So, again, anyway, so I linked this thing. It's at explorationhawaii.com, and it's a fantastic upload. It's 33 pages, and this paper was written in 1983. And they actually go through on the Phantom Night Marchers in the Hawaiian Islands, and they talk, it's by Catherine, let me read this. Here we go. Catherine Luomala, right? Which sounds like somebody who probably grew up on the Hawaiian Islands. And she's got the similar surname. And the reason I didn't read a bunch of this is I honestly just can't pronounce a bunch of these Hawaiian words. Like I've got family that's lived in Hawaii and family that still lives in Hawaii. And like they say these words like Kaneohe, or you know what I mean, but the bay or whatever it is. But I will butcher every single word in this document. But if you want to check it out, 30 pages, written in the fall of 1983, called "Phantom Night Marchers in the Hawaiian Islands" by Catherine Luomala. And there's some fantastic stories here about fishermen that saw these things and all kinds of other firsthand accounts, right, or even folklore passed down. So. Again, back to 1983. So not like that was super long ago, but these are stories that are supposedly, hundreds or thousands of years old. So there we go. I linked it. You guys can check it out. And let's see, you got some good conversation going on. And in the chats, let's see, what else do we got? There you go. Sherry says, I've met a few. Like, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, people see some ghosts. People out there see some ghosts, Like, I've seen some weird shit. I'm not sure I'd classify them as ghosts, but maybe they were, right? I don't know. Personally, I don't know. Again, this is the question show, not the answer show. I'm not here to give you the answers about anything. Okay, so anyway, as Axel said again, Axel, get well. Thanks for the call. Appreciate that, my man. It is fun to think about, and it is fun to talk about. I think that's for sure. But okay, so here we go. We got Kanaloa. Anyway, I got a bunch of links here about the Night Marchers of Hawaii. So before we get into the next batch here, and this actually next batch is in Pennsylvania. Before we do that, I've got a first-hand account of an individual that saw the night, what do you call these guys? The Night Marchers of Hawaii, all right? Go back to this article real quick. All right, so here, now, this is a first-hand account of somebody explaining this. Now, This is a tour guide in Hawaii that actually takes people out to this site, one of the supposed paranormal hotspots of the night marchers of Hawaii, okay? And so he's telling a story about one time when they were there, and he says he's been doing this for years and years, and he's never actually seen them. But one night, this happened. Action.
Nearly everyone who lives in Hawaii has heard legends and folklore about night marchers. But would you like to encounter them in person? Lopaka Kapanui says he has.
We're at the westernmost point of the island of Oahu, and not far from here is Kaena Point, the place where souls leap into the next world. Behind me, over the ridge, is where a night marcher trail begins somewhere in the north shore, but comes over just here, sort of takes a long, meandering zigzag down the ridge, and comes out right where we're standing. If you happen to be in this place anywhere between midnight and 4 in the morning, on the night there's no moon, there's a very, very good chance that you will encounter the night marchers. As they come out of the high grass here, cut through a part of this parking lot, and head directly across the street to the ocean. But take precaution. If you haven't heard the warnings of the drums or the conch shells, if you haven't seen the torchlights, it's probably too late. The best you can do is strip naked and lie face down. If you're Hawaiian, you probably have an ancestor in that procession who will call out your name and protect you. But if you're not Hawaiian, good luck. One night we happened to be here a bit too late, and the people showed up late for the tour, and I had no idea that it was actually the night of the night marchers, no moon. I had them stand in a line just where you are now. I thought I'd have some fun with them, and I told them to empty their minds, take long, deep breaths, and forget about the stress of the day or whatever it was that was bothering them. And I said, when they finally felt calm, I wanted them to close their eyes and just point to the area where they think the night marcher trail might come out from the tall grass.
Okay, there you go. Normal tour. They're out there. They're a little bit late because people were late showing up to the tour. So it's dark now, and he's kind of just toying with them. And of course, he's telling them the ghost story, right? Because you're the tour guide. You drive them around. You tell them the ghost stories. You tell them the lore of the island, right? You give everybody a good ride. So they show up, and he thinks that he's going to just mess with them. So he's like, all right, tell me where you think that they would appear, up on this ridge, down by the beach, whatever, right? And so the people that are there, the tour folks from presumably not Hawaii, they're not Hawaiian, they start pointing to different parts around the ridge, around the beach, whatever. So here we go. Part 2, action.
Well, several people pointed in different directions, but one 6-year-old boy pointed right here, and he went straight to it. And as he stood right in that space and turned around, his parents took a picture of him. When the picture came out, there were orbs right above his head and about a foot behind him, here in the tall grass, were the head and shoulders of Hawaiian warriors in feathered capes, feathered helmets, gourds, some of them holding a spear just like this. All 40 of us, individually, one by one, got to see this picture. And when the last person saw the picture, all of a sudden this word appears on the screen, delete. And the picture deletes itself. And I said, there goes our proof. The second I said that, this wind came out of nowhere, bent the tall grass, these trees, and it wasn't a cold wind. It was a very hot wind. It left as soon as it started, and we were left with the smell of something that had just died. And then we heard the sound of drums. When I got on the bus, I wondered what happened to the 40 people. Where did they go? Well, I was so scared I actually left them behind. And so I had to tell the bus driver to turn around and come back, and he said, oh no, we're not going back there. And so I said, wait right there at the gate. And so I got off the bus and ran back in this direction. The 40 people actually ran that way. And so there I was, late at night, chasing 40 people, heading toward Kaena Point. Their first time in Hawaii, not knowing where they were. I finally got a hold of them, walked them back to the bus, profusely apologizing.
Okay, so this guy, the grizzled vet, the Hawaii tour guide, he hears drums in the middle of the night after they see this photograph of glowing orbs and what appears to be Hawaiian warriors, ancient Hawaiian warriors with their capes and their feathers. And now they pass the picture along and it deletes itself. And now there's no evidence. He hears the drums up on the ridge and freaks out. Him and the bus driver hop in because they know what's up and they get the hell out of there. Well, it ends like this. Last part.
As they got back on the bus, they were flustered, calming down. And the little boy said to me, "Sir, thank you for coming back for us." Those men in those funny capes and helmets, they were looking at you. And one of them asked me, they actually asked me, "What is his name?" I told them, "I don't know." I gave that little boy a hug and I said, "Thank you very much." A month before that, we were at the Manoa Chinese Cemetery on a night when there was no moon. I had 38 architects. They were scared out of their minds. It took them 15 minutes to get them off the bus to the spot where we ended up. All of a sudden, this wind came out of nowhere, and I saw it bending the tall trees in the cemetery, and I realized I could see the wind, but I couldn't hear it, and I couldn't feel it. And where I was standing, it was hot, and I was sweating. And then it stopped. The next day, I called my cousin Keone Nunes, told him what happened. He said, "Where in the cemetery were you?" I said, "Just above the children's section." He said, "Last night was Polkane, the night of the night marchers. You were standing in the spot where the night marchers actually walked through." And I said, "Well, why wasn't I killed?" He said, "Probably because you had an ancestor in the procession, and they spared your life. But let me ask you something," he said. "Did you give them your name? Your last name? So they knew what genealogy that you descended from?" I said, "No." And so a month later, a little boy tells me, "The funny-looking men in the feathered capes and cloaks asked me your name." And so it could be that there's a familial connection, a DNA connection with this particular night marcher's trail. Because on the night when they are here, for some reason nothing happens. And I think indeed they are family.
There you go. Eyewitness account. Now, take it for what it is. This guy's telling you the story, right? He doesn't have proof of the pictures, which he said were orbs floating in the sky, which many people describe as spirits that end up on film or digital photography. And he said everybody saw it. And then they were so frightened when they heard the drums in the distance that him and his bus driver hopped on and left 40 people in the dark running away on the beach. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'd ever trust that guy again. He's on camera, so. so if you end up in Hawaii, I'll link the video so you guys can see what he looks like. You end up on that dude's bus. Know if shit goes down, he's leaving you. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so there you go. So an actual eyewitness account, all right? An eyewitness account. Okay? So the legends of the night marchers of Hawaii. So I got a bunch of links. I'll drop them in the chat as we go here. But we're going to move on to a different part of the United States. We're going to move on to Pennsylvania. So we'll do that in just a sec. But right now we have a phone call. As they say on this show, the show doesn't really start until Joe from Florida calls in. So you can all relax now because the show has begun. Joe from Florida, what's on your mind? How you doing tonight?
Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly, sir. Go right ahead.
This is interesting. I like the show. I've had some things going on. I'll shoot you a Discord during the week, a private message, but
okay.
I'm up. I've got some quiet time. Give you a call. First thing that comes to mind, listening to those last comments of that tour guide, is he tells people to clear their mind. And how many people listening right now do they pop into group hypnosis? You know, and there's a lot of things that this can be, you know. But when I hear that, I hear group hypnosis. When I hear a 6-year-old kid, well, heck, how many kids do we know? As far as I don't know, I didn't have an invisible friend. But you always hear about little kids having an invisible friend in belief. And I've talked about talpas. and manifesting these things. You know, energy, and looking at it that way, you know, that the orbs show up and that just compounds belief. It's like when you worry about something, you just kind of keep worrying, and it compounds. It compounds things, and that could manifest. The other end of it is a lot of ancient history, islands, you know, people on ships, things are cursed, sea monsters, islands, you know, the Hawaiians maybe couldn't protect the island from outsiders, from encroaching. So these legends happen. Maybe somebody had, and it was in the chat, maybe this all stems from a couple of bad acid trips. And that becomes a story. Somebody, let me tell you about this trip I had last night, or what I did with these drugs. And that just gets passed down and passed down, and the story changes each time it's passed down. A million ways, I think, to look at it. Do I believe in ghosts? Well, I've told you before, probably up to a couple of months ago, I saw a shadow person. You know, I've had things happen in the funeral home. Not things that I've seen, but things that, you know, turn on, fall off, lights flickering, all that weird poltergeisty crap that you hear about. Another part of me thinks Rescue 411. These people are seeing another dimension. You know, when you talk about Rescue 411, people are disappearing. Some of them come back, we were told of, but people disappear and they never show up. Maybe on the island, they're getting a glimpse into something. Some of them make it back. Some of them end up dead. Some of them cut themselves. If there's mention of that people get cut up. Maybe they're cutting themselves because what they see they can't explain. And it's, you know, some kind of insanity that goes on. I don't know. The fact that they mentioned plants in the speaking, you know, plants can be used for warding off spirits. Plants can be used for, you know, medicinal purposes. And plants can be used, you know, to get high on. So.
Hey man, that could be medicinal too. It's almost the same. Recreational, medicinal, you know, you blur the lines. Yeah, missing 411.
It's a good story though. I haven't heard of, you know, I haven't heard of this till tonight. So, definitely interesting. You know, it's not Halloween, but
that's all right. When you know about this show, when other people zig, we zag. So we're doing Halloween a little late. And also, by the way, my internet was down for almost 10 days, so that delays Halloween a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it's been kind of crazy. On a side note, very quickly, I know I put it on the post, and some people have seen it. Has anybody seen that preview to the movie Songbird?
I have not, actually. I didn't watch that. I didn't watch it. What is that on? Netflix?
I know I put it in Discord, and somebody else put it in Discord, and that gets back into predictive programming. And, you know, how long does it take for Hollywood to make a movie? And this movie was made, I keep hearing the movie was made like in 4 months. It's about COVID 23.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Martin put that in there. He's all, oh yeah, they're canceling like all the good movies, but they somehow are able to just crank this shit out in the middle of a pandemic, and it's about the pandemic.
Total poor taste. So I will let you go, and I just hope everybody stays safe out there. Interesting with this. I'll stick around for a little bit longer, and maybe I'll talk to you guys Tuesday.
You're the best, Joe. Thanks for calling in. God bless you and the family. Stay safe.
Good night.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. There you go. Joe from Florida. Now the show can start. If you guys were waiting for that, you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. If you want to be on the show, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Put you on the show. You can talk to me and whoever else might be listening. And the beauty is, We've had tons of people call in tonight. We got a lot, right? We got a few plus. We got some people. This is good. This is a conversation. This is exactly how this is supposed to be. It's a lot of hard work to get to this point because when it's just you and Frank talking to nobody out there, well, nobody calls. Now we got people listening. Thank you all for participating. Thank you all for calling. Thanks for hanging on every word in the stories here. It is amazing. It is a good feeling, and I hope you're entertained enough to continue hanging around. All right, so with all of that said, you can still be part of the show. You know what to do. Let me make sure nobody's on Discord waiting for this. Okay, we're good. We've got a couple more people joining Discord. Thank you for that. All right, so now these night marchers in Hawaii, all right? That's about the end of that. We're going to move on to another one. So I was thinking about this, and I was like, wow, I've never heard of this. This is amazing. But a spiritual spectral procession, right? Again, not possession, not projection, procession. Multiple ghosts moving together. Now, given like we said when Axel called there, quantum entanglement, if you want to take this to a scientific level, like we really don't understand what time means or is. And as a result, right, some physicists have speculated that time exists simultaneously, all of time, in slices of time-space that we cannot perceive, meaning that every millisecond, or whatever the smallest measurement of time is, in a particular space, that particular space holds all of time in it for all of time. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. But this is some of the what the academics bring forth. So as a result of that, if you have, let's say this is these night marchers in Hawaii, and they have slices of time, do they exist in these, and they're able to somehow punch through to the present time? And not only that, if that's the case, then they're able to punch through to any time, because they've been telling these stories for hundreds of years, or even thousands of years. How long have people been in Hawaii? I don't think anybody really knows. But you get it, right? You get it. Okay, now, let's go to the eastern part of the United States. I was thinking about this, and I was like, okay, is there any other part like I can kind of hone in on that we can kind of maybe match up here to be something that's similar, like a procession of ghosts? And I thought, wait a minute, don't they say something similar happens in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania? Right? Like Axel said, he'd recognize if he time traveled, he'd know Abraham Lincoln. He'd be able to pick him out of a crowd. Well, guess what? Some synchronicity. He didn't even know we were going to Gettysburg, did he? Hey, maybe I put that into your head in a retrocausal way, Axel, if you're still out there. Yeah, right? Maybe you knew what I was getting at and you got to it before I got to it. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And let's go to the battle that happened there. All right, let's see. What do we got? What do we got here? I got some more links. Hold on. Actually, before we do that, let me drop a bunch of links here from the Hawaii stuff. If you guys actually hold on, before we do any of that. All right, I teased Gettysburg. I want you to see this. This is that thing that I said is in the Discord, and I'm gonna link it in the chat, and you guys can check this out. But I want you to see this. Now, this is science explaining dimensional entities, right? They don't explain them as entities; they explain them as objects. Okay, but what's the difference, right? If you actually believe there are other dimensions and objects can persist in other dimensions, then of course I think it clearly dictates, even scientifically, that we have entities that persist. All right, now check this out. Link in this. You guys can check this out yourself. It's pinned in the Discord. We've talked about this. We talked about this way back when Frank was on the show. But I think this is pretty important and critical to talk about when we're looking at the possibility of dimensional things and dimensional entities and dimensional beings. So let's play some of this. This is 4D toys, a box of four-dimensional toys, and how objects bounce and roll in 4D action. Yeah. I thought there was a narration here, but there's not. All right. So I'll explain what's going on. So we have three-dimensional objects moving around within this space. But then we also have them three-dimensional objects disappearing. All right? And you're not exactly sure when and where or why they're disappearing. So they're about to show you. There you go. Where's our narration? Here's our 5 tesseracts. All right? It's going to be fourth-dimensional objects. And you see how they tumble and they fall and they land on each other. But then if they turn a particular way, they can disappear into what would be the next dimension over. And as a result of this, you see the same thing, right? So this is, of course, is a computer simulation of shapes and what a dimensional divide might look like from our perspective, right? Meaning that we cannot see into the fourth dimension. However, these objects are able to move back and forth between a fourth dimensional space and a third dimensional space, which we can perceive. And so, yeah. Crazy stuff, right? Here we go. Here's where it starts. We got, this is a 2-dimensional bit. How come they're not talking here? I guess it's all quiet. That's all right. That's perfect because I talk a lot. So we got a 2-dimensional space now becomes a 3-dimensional space. And as you can see, hold on. So as you look at a 2-dimensional space, imagine looking at a Mario Brothers game where you're looking at it from like an 8-bit perspective, just 2 dimensions. That's it. Now, this thing kicks upwards and you can see that this third dimension, our normal third dimension perception, is actually being hidden by the fact that if you're stuck in a 2-dimensional game, you can't perceive the third dimension exists. You see this as it kicks up? Pretty good stuff. I'm going to keep it playing. Now, for instance, as this continues, right? So they can show you that if you move this sphere, it's actually a sphere, in and out of the third dimensional space, back to the 2-dimensional space. I know this sounds bizarre. Watch the video, I promise you'll start to understand what the hell's really going on here. And maybe it explains a lot of this stuff, actually scientifically. Now, so we have this 2-dimensional ball that actually retreated back into a third-dimensional space and shrunk as a result because we only perceive a small portion of it now, whatever is sticking through to the 2-dimensional bit. You see what I'm saying here? There's a ton of shit here. I'm linking this again. Look at this. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's like 5 minutes and it's like I'm going to lose people. Everybody's going to start falling asleep if I start talking about this, and walk through the whole thing. But here, check this out. I'm linking it again. Have a look. So not only so this video describes the 2-dimensional view, how it becomes a 3-dimensional view, and if you're a 2-dimensional being, you'll never understand what happens in the third dimension, okay? Which we can perceive fully because we're third-dimensional beings. However, what it doesn't tell you, or what the speculative part of this is, it also continues and explains what a fourth-dimensional object would look like to a third-dimensional being, and it's very similar to a second to a third-dimensional. Anyway, like I said, I'm terrible explaining this. Watch the video. Holy shit, though, right? Holy shit, right? Sherry says you will see a bleed through. So it's so it can actually line up and like if you're paying attention, you're saying you'll notice, right? You'll notice the bleed through, and you'll be able to realize that there's some sort of shenanigans going on. Yeah, good stuff. Tamarin says that's fascinating. I agree. That's why it's been pinned in the Discord forever. It's at the top. In the general, it's right there on the pin because it's literally so succinct to everything that we're talking about, right? Whether you want to call the aliens dimensionals or spirits or this or that or even Big Feet, like we talked about Bigfoot in this context. And it's possible, let's say Bigfoot's a bumbling oaf and doesn't understand that's a fourth dimensional being and sometimes just crosses over in the third dimension. And you see it for a minute and you're like, holy shit, what is that? And then it just walks right back into the fourth dimension and we don't even see its fourth dimension characteristics. You see? Maybe Bigfoot's as big as a whale and we only see the part of Bigfoot that sticks into the third dimension. It's an unbelievable amount of mindfuckery, basically. But it's actually science. Welcome, science. Yay. All right. Anyway, so let's go to Gettysburg. Now, the Gettysburg, many people are familiar with the Battle of Gettysburg. Hold on. Let me see if I got some stuff on that. I may have failed there and not pulled up actual Battle of Gettysburg, assuming everybody knew, not fully realizing that people are internationals and aren't really into the Gettysburg. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Let's start with this one. Allthat'sinteresting.com. Now, the Battle of Gettysburg. Now, I'll explain this real fast. There was a civil war in the United States in 1860s-ish, 1865, I believe, is when the Battle of Gettysburg happened, somewhere in that range. All right, now, hold on. Give me just a moment. Linking these things, and, yeah, all right. All right, so if at this point, if you guys are following what I'm saying, kudos. Because I don't really know what I'm saying, to be perfectly honest with you. But if you look at some of this thing that's, you know, standing on the shoulders of giants type of situation, and taking the information that people smarter than myself have come up with, I'm just kind of trying to stick them together and say, well, what if this is possible? And I don't know. I think scientifically it seems like it might be possible. Okay, here we go. So this is from allthat'sinteresting.com, Gettysburg. Meet the Gettysburg ghosts, spirits said to haunt the Civil War's deadliest battlefield. All right, so it was nearly impossible to bury all the corpses that fell into the battlefield, leaving some to say that their spirits still linger over a century later. All right, so now this isn't one that goes back thousands of years. This is just a century. However, very similar to the night marchers in Hawaii, we see things happening at Gettysburg. Here we go. This is a quick history synopsis. The battle began on July 1st, 1863, when Confederate Army General Robert E. Lee confidently marched his troops through Pennsylvania, where they planned to launch an attack on Union forces. If you're not, if you're international, aren't really familiar with the history here. So the Union was this many states, and then they the South and the North got into it, and they say it was about slavery, but it really wasn't. It was about some other things, and slavery was a sticking point. Blue is the Union, which is the North. The South is the gray, which were basically Georgia and that area, right? Like the southern states, and they ended up, they were the cotton states, basically. So they needed their slaves. So that was one of the big political things going on. Anyway, so here we go. Let's see. Here we go. The battle began. General Robert E. Lee, he was of the Gray, the Confederates, confidently marched his troops through Pennsylvania when they planned to launch an attack on Union forces. That's the North. By miscalculations on the battlefield, miscalculations on the battlefield cost the Confederacy the fight and many lives. A total of nearly 51,000 casualties were tallied by the end of the three-day battle. Many of the dead had to be quickly buried near the battlefront. Although most of the dead were later moved for a proper burial, many were left behind. Ever since, there have been ghostly sightings of dead soldiers reported by locals and visitors. Some of these Gettysburg ghosts have even been allegedly captured on camera. And there's some good shit here. I'm going to link these videos and I'll put them in, and I encourage you to watch them because I'm telling you, they're compelling. There's people watching these videos or actually taking videos of this, and you can see spirits. I'm not shitting you. It doesn't look photoshopped. Like, this is the thing, right? So of all the garbage, we look at a ton of garbage. We look at a ton of like fake, this is fake, that's fake, the other thing's fake. It's fake, fucking fake, fake, fake. But there's some things here, right? Just like that one compelling UFO video we watched at the Temple Mount in the last episode, or the one before, I can't remember. But there was one, there's like there's so very few that are compelling. All right? Now this is one of those instances. And I don't think I can play these because we'll get a copyright strike. Because these are the assholes that are like, you get a good video and they license it, and then you play it and then they give you a copyright strike because they're assholes. I'm going to link these videos and please watch them. I'm not going to play them because we're going to get fucked. If we get fucked on this channel, we got no more. We don't have a backup. This is the backup YouTube channel. So I'm not going to play them, right? Out of an abundance of caution. I am going to link them though. I got the receipts. I'm not making this shit up. But anyway, okay. So the Civil War. Back to the Civil War. 1863, Gettysburg. Shit ton of people die. Over 50,000 people die in 3 days. Now, people that visit this place, it's a sanctuary now, right? It's become a national park. People go there, right, because you want to see where this went down. And the people that go there You know what many of them report? That's right. A procession of spirits, just like we're talking about in Hawaii. Okay? Except they kind of fall into the more harmless variety. Like they're sort of stuck in time. Like it's a Civil War battle happening that seems to repeat over and over again. And yet, it's not constant like a movie. It seems to ebb in and out of our consciousness, out of our ability to visualize these things. And nobody knows the schedule of the movie that's playing or what's going on. Anyway, what time do we got? Let's see, where are we at? All right, we're at a good spot. Now here's the thing. Check this out. This is amazing. There are some folks, not just this group. There are many. I encourage you, if you're into this and you want to do more research, I only do what I think we can fit in here and I bring here, but I read more than this. There's a shit ton of stuff here. There's a shit ton of these sightings. There's a shit ton of ghosts. There's a ton of stuff happening at Gettysburg, just like in Hawaii, right? Many generations have been able to see these things and report these things. All right, now check this out. This is, here we go, hold on. Let's read some chat. We got some good chat coming. Hold on. We got some, before I do this, we got some good chat. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's read some chat. Pretty good stuff here. All right. Joe says, our consciousness is probably being transmitted from that dimension. It is also where your socks go. There, now you know. Tamron, maybe ghosts are fourth dimensional based on that video I showed. And I agree. Well, and again, right? So imagine if we can perceive in a third dimension and then we can only sometimes perceive the fourth dimension. Imagine a fifth dimension that from the third we can never perceive ever. Right? It goes on. It goes on and open and further and deeper. Yeah. Brian says, fire, which is energy, God cast his angel Lucifer down to earth, and his hell God did not want mankind to have fire energy for lots of reasons. God was cheated by his own angel Lucifer. There you go. Sherry says, I love it. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you love it. Thank you. Look at that. Sherry says, great job, Mike. You're the man. Thank you. I appreciate that. My great-grandfather fought for Confederates. There you go. So exactly. And Sherry continues, you can see what they're wearing, a replay over and over. And I'm about to play something where somebody explains exactly that. Brian, what's up, says, I've seen some photos of it, and it's very real purgatory, right? And Sherry says most ghosts are reenactments. Yeah. Sherry's scared, apparently. I'm just kidding. Sherry's not scared. Okay, some other good stuff here. What's up, Marge? I didn't say hi when you showed up. Thanks for showing up, Marge. Let's see. What else? What else do we got? Let's see. Bailey says the North really only cared about the fact that profits were harder to attain than the people who had slaves. They wanted to free the slaves to make competition fair, not for freedom. It's gross. Well, again, right, good things happen for bad reasons sometimes, and this is one of the ones. But then also when they realized that, of course, slavery's gross, all that. But when they realized that if they freed the slaves, they had a bunch of free soldiers, right? A bunch of people that would join their side. So it was politically relevant at the time. And so, however it happens, it happened. It was a good thing. Here we go. Let's see. Hold on. Got some other good comments here. Bailey says, slavery is gross, and making it illegal only because of bringing the market closer under capitalism is so far from where their head should have been at. It's true, except if you got the barrel of a gun pointing at you from an entirely different batch of individuals, right? So, like, it's one thing to be able to sit and contemplate by yourself and make decisions by yourself with no threat. But once there's a threat, like an actual physical threat, it becomes different. It becomes politics, right? So, you know what I mean? It's the same thing, right? It's easy to sit and judge in a vacuum, safe, what should have been done, but you don't have the guns pointing at you. So, and I'm not defending any of that. I'm just saying, right? Walk a mile in my shoes type of situation in the past. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Andrew Basiago, the guy that's running for president. All right, let's see. Axel says, largely had to do with what economic system would come to dominate the country. Slavery basically had to continue to expand to remain profitable for the slavers on the East Coast. There you go. And so it was, exactly. And so it was It was more about like taxation and the fair capitalist version of whatever they considered to be fair at the time. All right. Again, so like the great emancipator, for whatever reason. Anyway, whatever. Like, go back and read the history if you don't want to know. It's a ton here. Like this is literally one of the ugliest parts of the entire United States history, right? What was short of the 2020 election and the 4 years prior, where it was constant media sliming on each other. But okay, well, I guess 1860 was worse because they were killing each other by the tens of thousands of people. Okay, so there we go. That's said, and that's true. All right, so anyway, all of that said, look into it, and yes, it is a thing. It is a thing. Okay, here we go. All right, so then now check this out. What's up, Benjamin? Benjamin from Virginia, thanks for showing up. We're talking about Gettysburg, bro. You're just in time. Kind of out. Virginia's not super close, but it's kind of close. You've probably been to Gettysburg. All right, now check this out. Now, the Gettysburg battle happened again in 1863. Over 50,000 people died in 3 days, and this is what's happening now. This is a first-hand account of some individuals that were hanging out at Gettysburg because they were going to see it on November 11th, which, of course, is the day commemorated to the Gettysburg Address. Here we go. Part 1, listen to these guys. Listen closely to what they say, and it's very similar. There's these procession of ghosts that appear at Gettysburg on this battlefield. It's like these slices in time have been regurgitated, right? I hate to use that term because it's disgusting, but it seems like it's a thing. They're stuck in a time loop. It's like they're stuck in this like purgatory, Sheol, whatever you want to call it. They're stuck and they can't move on. Here we go. This is a fantastic story. Some folks that were out there and actually saw this with their own eyes, more than one person. Here we go. Part 1, the ghosts of Gettysburg, action.
Do you believe in ghosts? Well, I do now. I'm standing here at the field where the infamous Pickett's Charge took place in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. On that fateful July day in 1863, from the fields behind me, General Lee sent a large Confederate force that stretched a mile across this road to the Union lines, which are behind this camera. It was an ill-fated charge for General Lee, but prior to that specific attack, the 12th New Jersey, which was on the hill behind the camera, neatly positioned and carefully positioned behind a stone wall, was given the order to go forward because there were Confederate sharpshooters in a barn across that field. There's no longer a barn there because the 12th New Jersey, along with the 1st Delaware, burned it and captured 99 Confederates. In any case, during the entire action across Pickett's Charge field prior to the Pickett's Charge, the men returned to their lines and fought the rest of the battle for that day. When the battle ended, there was chaos everywhere. Thousands of men lie dead on the field from both sides. What happened next? Well, fast forward to about 10 years ago, to about the year 2000, give or take. And one particular evening, we were driving from town in Gettysburg out to a hotel outside of town to meet some friends. As we were driving through, the car got to this point, and there was a very, very low fog across the ground. I got a weird chill about it. I said, man, to the other guys, I said, did you happen to feel this? They said, no, they didn't feel anything. Well, we continued on to the hotel, met our friends, gave them a time to meet us back at the hotel, and back this way we went. Well, we got back to this point again, and lo and behold, I felt that chill one more time. My friend Phil, what he was doing was he pulled the car over.
Okay, now this starts like many ghost stories, right? Very, very normal occurrence. You're you're going to a particular thing, a site, or whatever, a house, or this or that, whatever it is, and you got friends and people shuttling each other around in cars. But this one individual, he felt a chill every time, right? The ghost trope, right? Like they always say, you feel your spine tingle. You feel the air around you become cool, right? And you're not exactly sure. You feel like you're being watched, right? Like this type of situation, like you don't know. Your senses somehow in the third dimension that we're in are in high alert because they're sensing something, possibly like we stated from the fourth dimension. I don't know what's actually going on here. So they pass by, they go back a second time. As they're going back by the battlefield, he feels this again, this chill in the air. So what happens? Let's continue. There's only 4 parts to this. It's not that long, but this is a very compelling story. Listen to this. Not one witness, multiple witnesses, and you may never believe what they saw. Part 2 action.
And he said, let's get out, let's take a look. So we walked to this point. In the dark of night, on a Friday night, on the weekend of Remembrance Day, which is a weekend in November that commemorates Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address every year, there were thousands of soldiers here and about, but not out here, not at this time. It was probably about 9 o'clock at night. We walked to this point, we looked across the field, and we saw 5 people walking across the field. I remarked to my friends that they can't be there. They're not supposed to be there. This is a government property. After dark, no one goes onto the battlefield. They're going to get us all in trouble. That's what I figured anyway. Well, we watched these guys for maybe 5-10 minutes, and they were in a walking motion, but they never moved forward. They just stayed in one particular spot. So we looked, and the second guy, there was one man, another man, and then a group of 3. The first man seemed to have a rifle on his shoulder as he was walking. The second man seemed to be falling down. And I'm looking at this thinking, what's going on here? And then the other 3 that were separated were walking too, but no one was going forward. You couldn't see their legs. They were in a fog about knee high. So we kept watching, and the 3 of us saw the exact same thing. What we saw was the middle man falling down over and over and over again. Why this happened, we don't know, but we all saw it at the same time. So when he fell, we all remarked at the same second, he fell again, he fell again. Well, we went back to the hotel, wide-eyed, a bit scared, and we told everybody that was meeting us there at that time, you're not going to believe what we just saw. And we brought them back here. And about 3 or 4 carloads, maybe 20 people, give or take. And they all stood at this point, and we all looked, and they all saw the same thing.
Okay, right? They all saw the same thing. So I've got I linked a video there. This is from Gettysburg Ghosts, and this is not exactly the tale this individual is telling. This is somebody else with some actual footage. Again, some compelling footage. Now, keep in mind that fourth dimension, the geometry, right? The fourth dimension geometry. And then look at this, right? And I'm not going to full screen it. I think we may be able to get away with the overlay and the smoke in the background and the smaller and the, like you may be able to get away with this on the smaller thing. So I'm not going to do it full screen. So if you guys want to watch it, I just dropped the link and you guys can check it out yourself. But there are definitely white ghost-like things out there. And if you fooled me, fine. Like if this is a good video edit or whatever, fine. These fuckers fooled me. But watching this and you hear the people talk in this video, there seems to be something out there marching in the woods. And this is at Gettysburg. I'm going to keep it looping as we play this guy. So that's part 2. They got witnesses. They all see the same thing. What are they looking at? Let's play part 3. This is Gettysburg, the battlefield, and how people see spirits, possibly playing history over in some sort of stuck, repeating loop. So here we go. Part 3 action.
To try to go and figure out what that was all about, well, we really don't know to this day. We think we may have seen some ghosts, maybe not. Maybe it was our minds. I can't tell you what it was. But there's a bit more to the story. Hang in there. The story continues. These are the 2 gentlemen that, with me, were together that specific night during what we think we may have seen. I would like you to listen to the first-hand account of first Phil and then Dave. Phil?
Yeah, we were standing here, and it would appear to be movement out in the field. Some say it was the bushes moving, but the thing that was so amazing about it is that we all seen the same bush move at the same time doing the same thing. one of the bushes or one of the things that appeared to be a human that was falling down. And Rich yelled 12th New Jersey, and it did look like one of the bushes had stood up and raised its rifle. What that was, I don't know. I can't really say. All I can tell you is what we all seen at the same time, and it was very amazing to me. So,
Dave?
Yeah, it was really neat seeing that. The first thing that I saw of the 5 men that took my eye was there were 3 of them together. I don't know if they were 3 stragglers together, if it was remains of maybe a color guard or something, but they were together and side by side, shoulder to shoulder. And it was obviously like they were walking on some rough terrain. They almost looked like they were tripping or falling down. And the even more amazing thing was when we came back here, we brought some friends, several carloads, about 10 or 15 people or so, and they all saw the same thing too. And when that second trip, I was one of the guys that walked out on the battlefield towards those men. And
which we weren't supposed to do that night, but we won't tell anybody.
No. No, you're not supposed to be on the battlefield at night, definitely. But we were so intrigued about going out there that to see what was going on, we could never get close to them.
Okay. So they have witnesses, right? So he's not the only guy. He's got 2 people that also saw this. They went back and got a car full of people to come look at this because they saw some sort of reenaction happening out in the field, out in the battlefield at night at Gettysburg. Okay? And they saw 5 individual soldiers, and it was in a loop. And they continued to do like the same motion over and over, falling down, trying to trudge through the weeds and the grass and whatever they were doing, right? Through whatever, not through the landscape as it was currently, but as the landscape seemed to be back when this battle happened. And they're watching this and they're mesmerized, like, what the hell is going on here? Right? This is pretty nuts. This is pretty nuts. Okay, now, here's the last part. It gets even more weird than this. And here, I'm going to show this last one real fast, and I'm not going to play this because this one in particular, I think, is licensed, and this will get us, like, snap taken down. So I'm going to pasting the link. You guys can check it out. This link will also be in the description of the YouTube. So if you want to, if you're listening to an archive of this and you're like, shit, I missed it, it's going to be in the link. Like, it's going to be in the description box. Go check it out. It's called Gettysburg Ghosts Run. Let me check. Hold on. Let's make sure. Gettysburg Ghosts Run Across Road in this bone-chilling video. All right, check it out. Now, this has been licensed. Again, like I said, most of the best shit, most of the compelling shit has been licensed. These really short clips, 10, 12, 15 seconds type stuff, right? And so you can't really use it, or they'll literally give you a copyright strike. So check it out, and you might get smacked down. You might get the, yeah. Well, I mean, I'll get smacked down for sharing it. You won't for watching it. So do watch it from the direct link. But okay, here's part 4 of this. But again, look up on YouTube Gettysburg Ghosts, and there's many, many videos of people showing and sharing different things where they see possibly these procession of spirits or ghosts, very much like Hawaii, maybe replaying history right before your eyes, because they're stuck in what would you call this? Is this that purgatory? Is that Sheol? Is it, who knows what it is? I don't think we can quantify this, people, but here we go. Last part of this. They saw 5 in the forest, or sorry, out in the, it's basically like a flat plain, right, with trees, and they're stuck in this permanent loop, and they don't seem to react to people, and you walk out to it, and they seem to always space themselves away from you. So the depth of field is clearly something paranormal. So here we go. Part 4. This is the last one, and then we'll wind this up. Ghosts at Gettysburg, action.
I mean, if they were bushes, we would have walked past the bushes, but they always kept a certain distance from us. We could never get up to them, but we could still see them doing the same thing. Going through, it's like a moving loop that was playing over and over. The same guys falling, the same guys marching, but they weren't going forward, and we could never approach them.
So there you have it, 2 accounts, plus what I said. Thanks. The story doesn't actually end on the fields of Pickett's charge. The very next evening, one of the other members, after hearing about what had happened with the 5 men across this field, decided to see for himself. He came out there the following night with his wife and his children, and he came back to me Sunday morning at this particular point where we had a program to commemorate the 12th for the Remembrance Day weekend. And he said to me, "Rich, I saw the 4 men you were talking about." Well, I said, "There wasn't 4, there was 5. He says, "No, I saw 4. There was one here, one there, and a straggler at the very end. 4 men. Well, it turns out that we saw 5, he saw 4. I've been coming here to dedicate a day to the men of the 12th New Jersey for probably 20 years, and I've never noticed what's written on this monument on this side. Basically, during the Battle of Gettysburg, the 12th New Jersey lost 120 men. But at the very bottom, it states that after all was said and done, and the men were on their way to future engagements, whatever they may be, a total of 9 men were missing and were never found, never returned to their ranks. So do the simple math. The 5 we saw on that Friday evening and the 4 they were seen on the following night, a total of 9. How many more people in this town that lost their lives in a horrible way are still trying to get back to their homes, to their families? Well, there's a lot of stories about the ghosts of Gettysburg. This has just been one of them. You can decide for yourself whether or not it's a true story or just fabricated in our minds. But to us, it was very true.
There you go. Let me play this real fast. Give me just 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I hate to give you like this spooky ghost trope, but I thought I heard somebody knocking at the door. I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? There's nobody there. Okay, so anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm hearing things. It's okay. All right. Now look, this is the thing. Given all of this, given what we've talked about tonight. Now again, right? As you know, whether you're a skeptic or believer, where does this land, right? So like, there's clearly possibly a scientific basis behind this based on how time exists from the beginning to the end in a particular place all at once. All right. Scientists have suggested this. Time we don't even understand in and of itself. We understand time through the aging process, right? How we begin and we end. That's how we understand time. And that's basically it. Otherwise, we understand the relativity of it, thanks to Einstein and others that came after him. But what's really going on here? Is this a time loop? Are these individuals stuck in this? In some sort of, like you would say with the ghost mythology of many years past? There's some sort of trauma, like a battlefield that sticks you. This purgatory, as was said in chat. I don't know. Again, like this is not the answer show, or we just give you the answers. This is called Troubled Minds, and we ask questions. So you tell me. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but some of the stuff, right? Again, see, I see a lot of UFO videos, because we look at a lot of this stuff. I see a lot of Bigfoot videos, and a bunch of the shit just looks fake as fuck to me, to be perfectly honest. Most of it looks fake. However, once in a while, you see something and you're like, wait a minute. Have a look at those videos, guys. Check them out. I linked them. They will be linked. And yeah, as we finish, I don't know. There's a ton of shit here. Thanks, Axel. Feel better, man. Feel better. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're done anyway. You stuck around for the whole. Look at that. Axel toughed it up through COVID and stuck through the whole 3.5 hours. You're the man, brother. Feel better. Thanks for being here. Thanks for calling in tonight. Now that's it, right? How do you feel? How do you feel after all of this? After the whole presentation? Again, I don't have the answers. I only know what I'm looking at. I only know the legends from the sources that were given, and I'll have a ton more. I got a bunch more sources where I got the information from. I encourage you to follow up on them and read these. Like, don't take my word for it, my interpretation for it. That's the way the news works, right? The news works like this. They want to take the information and they want to interpret it and tell you what to think about it. All right? This is different. I want to look at it and not fucking decide because I don't really know, but I want you to make up your mind whether you decide or not. Tons of information here, tons of good stuff. Do follow up on me and fact check the sources. Fine, it's all good. It's about the conversation here. So yeah, I don't know. In the end, is purgatory real? Are these ghosts possibly just fourth dimensional things? Do we have slices of time? I don't know. I don't know. Quantum entanglement? The omniverse? I don't know. I don't really know. Again, if I knew, this would be the Answer Show, and this is not the Answered Show. The Answer Show, this is Troubled Minds Radio. All right, this was a fun one. I hope you guys had a good time too, and there's a lot of good information here. I'll post it all in the description under YouTube if you want to check it out. Yeah, here we go. Let's just play the outro music. Let's play the outro. What's up, Timothy? I see you on Periscope. You're in luck because we've got a piping hot archive ready for you almost immediately. Right? It's almost like served hot right into your lap. Thanks for showing up tonight. What else do we got? Who else do we got? Who am I missing? Benjamin says, you can see Civil War ghosts all over Woodstock, Mike. The town is in the middle of the battlefield in my state. There you go, right? Shit happens. I'm telling you, like, it's out there. Like, these are the things that people see. Sean says, many may have heard correctly talking and thinking about them conjures them up. I've heard that, right? Where you conjure them. Right? Those ritualistic things. Yeah. Let's see. William says, Mike, you keep saying Bigfoot. Are you going to do a show on one? In May of 2019, we did a show, and it had 12 Bigfoot stories in that same show. And that's the show we got a copyright on. So I don't think so. I think I'm going to avoid Bigfoot. Tamara, what's up? Tamara says 3 hours. That was very quick. I guess that's time flies when you're having fun. I'm flattered. I had a good time too. I have no idea why. It does. It flies, right? It flies, right? Hopefully this is good information. Hopefully you guys hadn't heard of a lot of this. And hopefully you learned something tonight with that 4D presentation. Do check it out. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do. I'm telling you, if we get taken down off of these platforms, I don't say anything revolutionary, right? I never have. I'm never going to. Because I don't think revolutionary stuff is necessary except in your mind, right? If we can have the right frame of mind, we can come together and we can change things. I don't think grabbing guns is necessary. I don't think any of the rest of this. I just think, I don't know. I hate to call myself a revolutionary because then it sounds dirty and grisly and like you just picked me up out of the mud and put me on the front of the battlefield, and that's not the case at all. I don't think battle is necessary. I think we need to overcome ourselves. We need to be good to ourselves first and good to everybody else as a result of that. And hopefully, battlefields are things of the past. There we go. There's my one wish for 2020 and beyond. You guys are great. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking with me. I know it's a long show. I know there's a lot to talk about, and I know it's a lot to listen to. It's an earful. It's a mouthful. But like I said, I had a good time. I hope you did too. Here we go. Let's finish this up, and we're out of here. We're out of here. You know what that means? Means you're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I got you, Penny. Everybody knows that. I'm not gonna... You say those things, and they track every word, and they shut you down. Everybody knows these things. I'm gonna say this is a spiritual war. I'm going to say you get your mind right and everything else follows. I'm going to say not much more than that. But I'm going to say I had a great time tonight. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the great calls. Thanks for the enthusiasm. And yeah, we'll be back. God willing, we'll be back Tuesday. Fridays we do this. 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. And who knows what's next? Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal. Hang in there. Do your best for yourself and for each other, and I think we'll be okay. All right. One last time, if you want to help, go to troubleminds.org. Tell somebody. Invite them over to your house. Social distance and wear a mask. But have them listen. Send them the links. Share. That there's good information. There's a good conversation. It doesn't have to do with propaganda. It doesn't have to do with paranoia. It doesn't have to do with fear porn. You don't have to be afraid. Please share. It's important. And as of right now, I'm honored you guys stick with me and hang around. You're all my favorites. And until next time, you're listening to Troubled Minds. And I'm your host, Michael Strange. We'll see you Tuesday night. Everybody have a great weekend. From our Troubled Minds to yours. Have a great night. Penny, you got it. I'll be on your show. Let's set it up.